Hey guys, Night Ops here, and we are back with some more Hoi4, where we are playing the Old World Blues Fallout mod. I know some of you guys had asked about the two new mods that I added to test out. I haven't added them to the collection yet because honestly, I don't know if they're even working. Um, like I said, one of them is a frontline mod. The other one is like a division designer one for the AI. And I don't know if they'll even I don't know if they work out the gate, because even like this, but it says more likely for them to build certain sized units. But like I said, I don't know if it's supposed to be something that's supposed to be there at the start of the game or not, for it to make that decision. But something that's funny is the automatic war thing that happened that forced us into the war with Caesar's Legion. It did them dirty. So Caesar's Legion is currently at war. I do believe. Yeah, they're at war down here. Most of their troops are actually down south, which is the funny thing. They're actually at war against two people. Yeah, and they left not many troops on the border, which is funny because the Two Sons people didn't actually join the war, and they have a lot of troops here. Like a lot of troops. They were kind of the smart ones in the sense, which they probably will join here in a minute. More than likely. Ooh, that's right there for some reason. Am I getting it anywhere else? No. Okay. So I don't really have to restart. As long as I don't really look there too often, I think I'm good. So yeah, this is kind of funny. But yeah, let's just kind of get into this war. Let's actually spend some money, just drop some stimuluses for them. Something I want to do though is I want to hurt them through another thing. Oh, we can actually. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Study old world architecture so we could build up other settlements and stuff. But what does this do? So cement and concrete and pre-war housing. We get two technologies. Jesus, though, dude, for a year, everything sucks, dude. Oh my god. We're gonna do it though, because we're gonna build the American dream house here. Oh my god. So we still have a lot of this for the rebuilding the Pacific Northwest. So let's power on what we currently have. Okay, here we go. So we have the Sound of Freedom. This will play an audio file. Does it do anything other than playing an audio file? I'll have to test it because I really want to see if it does anything to the Legion troops. So if I pause it, it's because it's copywritten, more than likely. Blaring music, which grants them less night attack, less initiative for 30 days. The Music of Freedom, Big Iron, Atom Bomb, Bay, Butcher, Pete. We set up a series of loudspeakers along the Colorado River, pointed them at the Legion, and turned the volume up as high as we can, 24 hours a day, every night, nonstop. We've already gotten a few bullet holes in the speakers, and we figure it'll be a few days before we have to take the speakers down for maintenance. But for now, it's fun to kick back to some good music and watch the Legion suffer. Turn it up. Operation Size Matters. It's a measuring contest. It's a measuring contest of all the tricks the Psychological Operations Group have up their sleeves. This has to be the most outlandish as far as controversial methods go. Loading up a few vertibirds with boxes of Brahmin condoms. It's funny because we actually did this. The United States, I think, actually did this before, where we dropped and sent a bunch of condoms to a country. I think it was Vietnam. I can't remember though. And sent them like crazy sized ones to like hit their morale. I'm just like, bro, could you imagine being a soldier or somebody? It's like, hey, here's a condom from the United States of America. And then you look at it and it's like a triple XL. It's like, bro, it's like, how am I going to use this? Am I going to like bag my rice in this? Am I going to bag my year's worth of rice with this thing? It's like, bro, that'd be crazy. The labels were switched out with the ones reading to US soldiers and dropped over Legion territory. Yep. Yep. Many question if this would even work on the Legion, given their strict adherence to martial life. Analysts, however, point out that the primarily hyper masculine culture of the Legion, which only respects power and strength, the reported abundance of slave girls and brothels among Legion camps further indicates that the operation might have some merit, at least among the younger Legionnaires. Insecurities? We have none. Dude, that is great. All I can think about now is the one song from the "These boots are made for walking, so that's just what they'll do." That's just what's in my head. I'm gonna get myself copywritten by even singing that. But oh my god, all I can think about is that now. That is hilarious. These boots are gonna walk all over you. Leaflet drop. So let's see what this says. Tried and true. A tried and true method of warfare stretching back hundreds of years by this point. Hundreds of thousands of propaganda leaflets loaded up onto the back of a vertibird, flown high above Legion territory, and kicked out between the altitude they were dropped and the fact that most are made of laminated paper. They should spread far and wide over Legion territory. Most are simple pictures given the literacy rate of the Legion. However, it should be noted that one set was kicked out too early and the leaflets floated down over our own territory and have ironically become quite popular among troops and civilians. I use one as a bookmark. Okay, let's strike Legion factories. Deploy a Navajo skinwalkers. This was one that I was really hoping. Yes, I was hoping this would have like a thing here. The Navajo are more than willing to turn their guns back onto Caesar. With support from our vertibirds and stealth boy technology, Chief, I'm not even gonna try to say that, personally led a platoon of his best warriors deep into Arizona wasteland to lead a campaign of terror against the Legion. He knows the cities are too risky, but much of Arizona is open wasteland. And at night, when the Legion rests, the Navajo skinwalkers will strike. They've been wanting to do this for a long time. Operation Wandering Soul. Wandering Soul. It's no secret that the Legion is made up of dozens of tribals formed under the fisted rule of Caesar. Many see Edward Salo as a god incarnate, something we can exploit all too easily, attaching speakers to our old blimps. We can sell them high above the earth and have them blare ghostly messages, strange noises and sounds of the dead, warning them about the impending doom of fighting the Enclave in America. While we don't expect the Centurions to believe it, the harsh standards of discipline enforced by the Legion means, at the very least, they'll lose their more superstitious elements to execution, something we can also exploit. Spooky. So it's funny because I think we've done that too. I want to say we've had like speakers with like weird noises and stuff like that blare through like jungles and stuff in camps. Deploy Feral Ghoul Swarm. Operation Necromancer. Could you imagine all of this happening at once like we're popping now? Like every single one of these, everything just happens at once to your military, dude. I'd just be like, who are we fighting right now? I'd just be like, what are we fighting? What are we doing? We need to make better decisions for our lives here. A sight of terror for any wasteland scavenger, explorer, or even our own power armor patrols is the raspy call of a feral ghoul, shambling mutated monsters that lurk ever in our nightmares and areas less explored. There seems to be no end to these things, and we're wondering just how many people died to the bombs given the sheer number of these things still hanging around for 200 years. That is actually very true. The amount of ghouls that are in Fallout, but you gotta think though, the amount of people that just weren't like probably evaporated, that were like say in subways or anywhere where this can just happen to them, and that are still just around, shambling around. I guess it's like zombies, like very much like zombies that just don't, that just don't rot after like one summer. There's like, hordes and hordes and hordes of them. Regardless, everything eventually has a use. herding a bunch into shipping containers. We dropped several over Legion positions and had the doors open, unleashing dozens of the things on Legionnaires. At one point, it was hard to tell which were feral ghoul screams and which were the cries of the Legion. How'd you get them in the container? Not gonna lie, it's a very, I'd say, American thing to do. Deploy the trauma kits from Big Mountain. It's a wild wasteland out there. A gift from Big Mountain? The Y-17 trauma harness is technically a pre-war invention, but post-war, it's just another wasteland horror given the kinks in the device were never worked out. It was supposed to be a full-body suit designed to automatically retrieve injured soldiers and return them to their home base. That was not what I was expecting. In reality, the thing is a poorly coded walking coffin, and its self-defense protocols lacked any IFF software, making them attacking anything in sight. These walking nightmares gave our soldiers clearing Big Mountain hell, and now we will unleash... Oh, those were those things walking around. Yeah. That hell on the Legion. A series of them will be dropped from above, raining down on the Legion territory and wreaking havoc until the Legion can get in there and remove them. Given the strength and durability of these suits, that's going to be very hard. The only drawback is we don't have many of these suits left, and creating more, even in Big Mountain, is going to be difficult. Well, that's terrifying. Deploy Airborne Deathclaw. We've done this before, but we're going to do it again. Deploy hallucinogen gas, and then let's just rescue some more slaves. Oh my god. Okay, let's arm a batch of mini nukes, because I want to see how that works. We're also... Let's declare war on Two Suns while we're at it. I'm not going to wait for them to declare war on me. I'm going to declare on them. This way we can just get this side going over here too. There we go. Oh god. And we are unpausing. So we're breaking some of this already over here. But we do have a lot of tanks and a lot of power armor units. Oh. So this kind of confuses me because it says the Washington Brotherhood Enclave War. But then it shows the Enclave fighting the Legion. It's like, huh? Something's not correct here. And I looked and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him. Revelation 6:8. I love how it says the Dark Brotherhood marches, and it's like, they're gone, good sir. They are already within our inner circle here. But yeah, because of their war down south, dude, they don't have much going on. Oh, my other troops are still coming from the north that are coming to hit over here. And then
Enclave here.
Where are my guys? They're supposed to be here too then. Or are they still also coming over here?
Enclave here.
Who is this supposed to be?
Enclave here.
Okay, now you guys are up there. So we're moving through Two Suns here. I mean, they're not going to be able to push across our Colorado borders at all. For sure. These guys' organization are actually quite low. They might push that, honestly. I'm just confused as to, like, what units are supposed to be there. I'm just assuming they're not there yet is the thing, because I wasn't 100% ready.
Outstanding.
Okay, I want one of you to push this way and to push around.
Gotcha.
Tucson is like our area with the most enemies that we're hitting or fighting right now. Caesar is pushing some troops up this way. How's my Navy doing? Are they actually pushing across? Oh, I didn't have them. Whoops. There we go. Enclave Sigma. At the onset of the Great War, the Enclave secured a way that what few elite special forces and black ops teams were left in America onto the rig and in secure bases on the mainland. However, the rivalry between these various formations threatened to tear the Enclave apart, forcing the president at the time to reform them all under one Sigma, or single command, Sigma. Enclave Sigma, an elite directed action force that was the culmination of over 200 years of Special Force doctrine and development. Since the rig's destruction, those in Enclave Sigma who didn't die on the rig or at Navarro fled east to Raven Rock. Those few who stayed behind and blended into the population are now old and aging, yet of those few who rejoined our cause, their knowledge remains and they're ready to train the future generations. Perhaps it's time to reinstate the most elite soldiers to ever walk the wastes. But which Sigma group or team should we dedicate our resources first? So red team, blue team, white team. What do each of these teams actually do is the question here. Because that would be these guys. So we have a red team, white team, blue team. So blue team, our enemies have spent years rebuilding laughable mockeries of America's great infrastructure. Dedicated sabotage teams delivered by vertibirds can remind them that they're dealing with an ordinary wasteland nation, but a superpower. Red team, our enemies rest happily that their commanders will lead their armies to victory. Be a real shame if one of them died. Okay, I kind of want red team now because of that. White team, truck-launched biplanes, rocket bombers, and the occasional monoplane make up the vast majority of post-war air forces. Targeting these laughable excuses for air power and infrastructure will increase our ever so tight grip on command of the sky. Nah, we're going red team. That just sounded great. We have these two. These just give us bonuses to a lot of our intelligence-based stuff. But, ooh, so I could go revive the Green Berets. But I kind of want to go over here. Because one of you guys brought this up. It's Power of the Old World. There's a few options under here that could help us with certain things. So for this, we would need reform the United States first. Requires defense contracting. Okay, so a lot of these would require defense office, contracting office first. And we get New World contracting, which is kind of cool, actually. Old World factories. Oh, heavy ship max cost. Oh, is this one of the ways to do this? Oh, okay. So this is one way I guess I can get my ships better. Ooh. The giant wakes. So to do this, we just need defense contracting all the way down, right? So we need one of these or both of these. Requires all of the following. So we need both of these. And then this requires the first one. Okay, so we can go like all the way there. Let's go Arsenal of Democracy then. That does sound great. So we're pushing into two suns here. I kind of want to push across this strait and then kind of like this. I don't know if it's going to push our front like that, though. Oh, fruits of our labor. After several months of testing and design, we've managed to miniaturize the Jasper testing system down to what can be carried by common infantryman. In short, we've just learned Gauss weaponry. Oh, okay. So once you do the Area 51 stuff, it takes a while. And then once they get it done, you get Gauss weapons. While it's going to take us some time to redevelop the weapon systems that we once carried into battle, this is a massive step forward in creating our technological edge against our enemies. We've come, I guess this would be full circle. This is fill circle on projectile weapons. We get Gauss weaponry schematics. Oh, we have some naval fighting going on. What do they have here? Two light cruisers, or yeah, two light cutter holes, and then a light canoe hole, and then two medium, I don't even know how to say that, schooner holes. We sunk two convoys that were here. One of our medium ships took some damage, but that's fine.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Why aren't my Marines launching? Or are they launching? It's just taking... Oh, okay, they are launching. It's just taking a while. I see, yeah. Yeah, there they go. There goes the boys. Dude, the amount of tanks that Tucson has is kind of crazy. And they seem to be semi-decent. Like, they're tank motorized. So since they're tank motorized, they have organization. Oh, hey, my infantry... Oh, this was Horrigan's people here. That's right, this was Horrigan's location. Let's see, can I push you guys across with that much organization? That kind of scared me. As any nation, prepare a mini nuke for use. Atom bomb baby. Radioactive material leaks. Okay, so that's for that one. Now, how do we use these mini nukes? That is the question. So I know we have the raids from the previous, from how like the game is updated towards those. I love how they just have blimps. Like we're just shooting down blimps right now. They have what, 168 of these blimps? Yeah, we're just dominating. Oh, they actually do have a navy up here too. But, you know, we have the US Navy here. 9 convoys are here too. But we have a crap ton of, because all this is medium ships for us. We pretty much went a cruiser spam in the Colorado River here. Oh, they have 3 ships here, like three small destroyers. They have 3 light ships, and then we have 32 cruisers pretty much here that are just gonna decimate anything in the Colorado River up there. That is great. So Sigma Intervention. I want to pop this now. So Sigma Intervention. Enclave Sigma, once it was an elite force whose sole purpose was to pick up the slack where the army couldn't. Infiltration, sabotage, high priority garrison assassinations, and everything in between. At these, Enclave Sigma excelled. But at the end of the day, Sigma Command was a much smaller, more niche force that didn't see nearly as much use as much larger and more robust Enclave army. However, times have changed since the destruction of the rig. Our forces are now comparably much smaller, made up of mostly veterans using expensive equipment, both which are harder for us to replace. A number of Sigma team commanders have come forward proposing plans they say might alleviate our problem. It's funny because that's kind of like an American thing, very much. Like if you look at a lot of other countries, they might be like, oh, we have 1 million active soldiers. And then you look at their active soldiers and they're just kind of like, eh. Just kind of like crap. Like they're more in line with militia than anything. And then maybe say out of that 1 million, like 100,000 have body armor. And then a lot of like maybe 500,000 have a decent rifle, while the rest of them just have like some crappy pre like World War or like some World War II gun that's left over from like a World War II stockpile. Honestly, that's how a lot of them look. Or the US, we have like what's considered a professional army, which is most people like joke around and stuff about our military. It's like, oh, you know, they're not what they used to be. It's like, I don't know, man. You promise some college kid free college and healthcare, man. They'll do some horrendous things on the battlefield. I was one of those kids. So yeah. While the Wasteland nations, and we have really good equipment, even though a lot of people make jokes about our equipment, like, oh, you know, the lowest bidder, but our lowest bidder is still better than most other countries, what's considered their highest bidder, funny enough. While we Wasteland nations may be almost entirely united in their hatred of the Enclave, that doesn't make them united in the least. Wars between these nations are almost inevitable in some cases. Sigma Command believe they could exploit the chaos of these wars to bend them to one side's favor or another, regardless of our feelings towards these nations or their conflicts. Our long-term strategic objectives may benefit from having one nation win a conflict over another, as well by letting the Wastelanders kill each other for us. It may save Enclave lives and resources. Give Sigma the green light. We have more important matters at hand. So unlocks the ability to send Sigma teams to intervene in various Wasteland conflicts. Oh yeah. Let's arm another batch of mini nukes, even though I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with said mini nukes right now. Oh, so here we go. So we can deploy Sigma teams at MacArthur Base, Fort Sierra. What do these do? So delete Sigma squad template and remove all units created from this template. Oh, so six units of Sigma teams will be deployed. Active for 180 days. Effects when removed. So wait, we lose our Sigma teams when we do this, but we get free Sigma teams? Oh, or does it delete the actual unit? Oh, okay. So we can get them to use in the field for a little bit. I see. That's kind of cool, actually. What do we get for doing this, though? Add Sigma Red Operations, which grants Caesar's Legion and 2 Suns. A lot of debuffs, actually. So if I let's see if I deploy them. Okay, so cool. So I can get some free units here for a little bit. So we got some Sigma team units here. Oh my god, look at their weapons. They had the full-on missile launchers, the heavy ensigns, the Tesla cannons, the turbo plasma rifles. They're rocking APA Mark IIs and the advanced special forces kit. None of this I actually have on hand, by the way. This is all that they just spawned with. Or, well, actually, I have some of it on hand. I don't have all of that on hand. Okay, what forces do I actually have? Okay, you guys are actually hitting up here in the north. You guys are actually hitting in the south. Okay, I want these 6 guys. You're going to join... Is that... I think that's Arch Dornan, right? No, that's Bush. Yeah, come down here and join his forces.
Enclave here.
I thought I sent you to join his forces. There we go. And push into Caesar's Legion with them.
Enclave here.
Oh my god. Just areas with my navy. Okay, so we're dropping our troops. We've got our naval or our marines pretty much landing. Oh, we're actually in full combat with 3 destroyers, but we have 4 heavies, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or god. Dude, I can't count. 13 destroyers, so light ships. Oh, they think they got out. They actually retreated. Ah, are we actually not landing here? We should be landing. Yeah, I was about to say, we should be landing all across this, too, which we are. Okay. I need you to help your brothers make this landing here. I want you to move here to help surround this. And I want you to move there to help cut them off. And then I want you guys to actually move up. Or should I move them down, actually? Because it's not like we have a lot of troops over here that we could really, like, make a whole new front. Like, these are 20 guys. Let me train up some more units here. The only issue is these units are so massive that it's going to take a while to actually train these guys up. That's part of my issue with this.
Outstanding.
I'm actually going to open up a new theater. And, yeah, but see, these Marines are going to be in that theater themselves. We have some more naval fighting going on. Oh, my God. Okay. We sunk a medium ship, a destroyer, and 12 convoys, Caesar convoys. They had 26 convoys, 2 medium ships, and 4 light ships. Oh, yeah, dude. These aren't even, like, that crazy upgraded ships that we have. Okay, let's return to my other theater real quick. Okay, there we go. I was like, what mistake am I making right now? Okay, I want you guys to move up towards... I thought that would be them, but I guess not. Honestly, probably once we take this front. Or I could do something like this. If I do this... No, that's not them. I think it's these guys, right? Yeah, so these guys. Because they're set to front line. If I just do this and keep them set to front line... Will they actually push this, or will they just hold the front line anywhere it moves? I've never really used the front line stuff after it was added. Because normally, anytime I'm garrisoning something, it's literally just garrisoning ports and the coast. I've very rarely ever actually done garrison front line. Ooh, that could actually help these guys down here while they push, because I could actually have some of those guys. So we have a lot of guys there in this... frontline garrison unit. This would actually really help with areas with long front lines. I should have probably created a small frontline unit to at least hold just like across areas. Because I knew this was going to be coming. It's like we're fighting in Russia right now. Okay, I need some of you to actually hold these other areas here. Stop him from moving. Okay, we got our other troops here taking Oh, okay, I had a pause there. Because music. The liberation of Salt Lake City. Latest news from the front lines. Yesterday, the reunited states drove Caesar and his tribal lackeys from Salt Lake City, known to some as New Canaan. To our great surprise, during the fighting, soldiers found the golden statue of the angel Moroni, thought lost since the Great War to many of desert, Jesus. This is a sign from God that America is back. And so people in darkness have seen a great light. So we get cores on New Canaan and New Jerusalem, which don't we already own that? Yeah, we already own that. I guess technically Caesar was already supposed to own it because of the 80s that were here. And so it just popped for us since we took out the 80s early. FEV fizzles. At Dr. Gannon's urging, the United States pursued a costly vaccination program. This paid off when the Legion tried to use FEV against us, promising to bring the ghost of the past to their knees with no effect. But it's good to know we can add attempted genocide to the charges against Caesar at the War Crimes Tribunal. Wait, can we actually bring, like, if we beat Caesar, do we bring him before the courts? Dude, that'd be hilarious. So Caesar loses stability. Caesar's atrocities. Caesar is a nasty son of a bitch. And as we push east, his men have responded with increasing guerrilla attacks on our supply lines and atrocities to demoralize our men. Recently, they somehow crucified 13 men on Hoover Dam, declaring they left their bodies facing west to watch our world die. What is wrong with them? The real atrocities are Caesar's speeches, available because you're a charismatic son of a gun. Add a Legion guerrillas, oh god, which grants supply consumption and gain. Okay, the liberation of Hoover Dam, because I think we took the other side of Hoover Dam. Yeah, we did. So our boys are over here. Oh, okay. So because I did the whole frontline stuff, those guys defending the front line will actually push it. I did not know that would actually work like that too. I thought they would just hold it. That's actually really nice to know. So the liberation of Hoover Dam. This is Enclave Radio bringing you the latest news from the front. Our boys in black have driven the Legion from Hoover Dam, aided by survivors from Navarro who hid in the Mojave, and our flamers are burning Praetorians out of their nests even as we speak. An American flag has been draped over the side of the dam, and soon its power will serve you, dear listeners. And a special thanks to that courier who rallied local partisans to our aid. This is not how we saw New Vegas ending. AFN News, end of the Legion Classis. The once vaunted Legion Classis has been all but sunk and destroyed by the United States of America Navy. Oh, did they have like some kind of ship? That's cool. I didn't know they had like some crazy ship. I don't think I ever heard of it when I played New Vegas. With the bulk of its ships sinking to the bottom of the Colorado and Baja of California, the once mighty fleets of the Legion are but shadows of their former selves. When many of Caesar's legions tops admirals and naval officers being executed for the failings, often being fed to glowing sharks or other monsters of the deep. While challenges still come from the Legion allies, the United States of America's Navy remains the undisputed champion of the waves, fitting its legacy as the most powerful nation that sails on the waves. Next time, send modern warships. Or is it because we destroyed most of their navy and that's why we got that? Sound of Freedom. Despite the intensive bombing campaign, Flagstaff had remained mostly intact. The United States of America's Air Force had targeted the more industrial side of town as well as the roads leading out of the city in hopes to cut off Flagstaff from the rest of the Legion. The drone of aircraft high in the sky had become a sort of a fixture in the Legion capital. This morning, however, it was eerily quiet as Praetorians watched over the still morning air as Centurions led patrols through the streets. Then, with a wincing crack, the old world emergency speakers roared to life once more. Having laid dormant since the bombs fell, weapons were readied when all at once an old recording blasted over the sirens and speakers. Some speakers blew out in flame, others shook at the sound roared through them. The Star-Spangled Banner on electric guitar broke the silence of the city as slaves and legionnaires heard it. Caesar emerged from their palace at the disturbance to hear Flagstaff. The anthem blared, and it rippled through as slaves grabbed tools and weapons and attacked their legion masters. Others started fires or sabotaged their weapons, all preferring to die free than live on their knees. Caesar was hurried by his praetorians to safety, demanding that every rebelling slave be put on the cross. As if on cure, or I suppose to be on cue, as if on cue, the skies opened up to reveal the United States of America's Air Force as hundreds of slaves escaped into chaos. Those in charge of the Legion did not sleep well that night. Let freedom ring. So gain war support, sound of freedom, which grants minus 10% surrender limit to the Legion. Two eyes appeared in the darkness. Okay, so this was our rescuing slave one. The road was dark and quiet. The legionnaires forced the slaves down it in front. If something came out of the darkness, it would strike them first, allowing the Legion to respond in kind without any risk to them. As the slaves walked, two glowing green eyes appeared out of the darkness, looking over each one. The Legion began moving up before each one held their head down, or had their head blown clean off by unseen snipers. As their bodies fell to the floor, the slaves' collars fell off. The slaves, as the green-eyed soldier spoke to them. You're free. Nice. Okay, so we're still trying to get that area there. Our tank force is legit just absolutely demolishing everything. Oh, did our groups here decided to not stick to this? Okay, I need a lot of you guys to stay on this front.
That's a no one.
Instead of moving to the other front has enough troops.
Fucking president's watching us like a hawk. Why isn't your video feed working?
I need enough of you to help with this push. And then you can kind of like return back to your other group. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're moving through the north. So Caesar's moving more troops to this front. But like I said, he's having to move them pretty far because he's still fighting down here in the south, which he's pretty much almost took over the entirety of the south down here. Once he finishes them, though, he's going to move up a lot of troops up this way. But by that point, we should have a decent amount of area taken. Okay, are my Marines... Oh, wait, my Marines are on this one. There we go. Are you guys... Okay, you are not on aggressive. Okay, I need to set you to aggressive. And then use a fat man. Oh, is this what from the mini nukes are from? Oh, okay. So I think that's... Is that how that works with the mini nukes?
Enclave main com. This is Enclave
Who do I have more on this front right now? You know what my tanks are. Use fat mans. That gives us offensive 40% for 6 days, breakthrough 40% for 6 days, organization damage minus 70% for 7 days. I was saying 6 for 7 days. And then you know what we're gonna do?
That's a no one.
Our tank division. Oh, you guys aren't even set on aggressive. Oh, I think it's because of that. Yeah. Oh, so I can't set them to. Oh, I was gonna have them force attack next. Oh my god, dude, yeah, that fat man use is gonna be absolutely crazy. So I guess that's actually how we use them, is just a general option there. Yeah, there's a lot of troops now coming to the front, but a lot of them have already been taken out, especially like here. Yep. Just clean this all up. This was pretty much the ultimate plan right here to do. We have more troops coming from the north also to join the lines. A lot of our lines are regrouping. I like that front line thing. I did not know that they would actually push the front line if you did that from behind them there. I just thought they'd hold the line wherever it went. We destroyed 2 more convoys here with our navy. Caesar just keeps running. 188 convoys. Bro. That would be nuts if we destroyed like all those convoys. Oh, wait, we're destroying a bunch. Oh, we got rid of their medium ship too. Oh, dude, we're sinking so many convoys here. Dude, even more convoys showed up. The fall. Oh, we took Flagstaff. We took their capital? Oh, we did. Oh, man. The city of Flagstaff, long the seat of Caesar's absolute power, fell last night to the United States of America, although Caesar stayed to command the defense until defeat was all but certain. Even his military wisdom could not save the city. Surrounded, as it was, by the United States of America's earlier pincer movements, in his infinite wisdom, Caesar ordered a last stand, commanding his elite Praetorian Guard to fire on any units that attempted to desert. Ultimately, the order only served to delay the capture of the city at large by a day. Although even now, sporadic fighting continues between invading forces and Praetorian guards until holed up in buildings. Caesar's palace also appears to be still holding out, although this might shortly change when the United States of America's demolition teams get into position. How did the Legion have this many slaves? By taking a lot of people. Dude, this light special forces group here has been holding out for a very long time. Dude, we are destroying so many convoys. What are even all these? Are they trying to naval invade somewhere? Or is that like all of their supply convoys? Because that's a lot of convoys just in this area here. Like, that is crazy. Dude, we're sinking so many. We don't even have that many ships here. We have 2 mediums and 12 lights. Imagine if I upgraded my navy already by this point with the newer, like, tech. We lost 1 light ship. We lost 1 canoe hull. Oh, and we caught even more of them. Oh my god. Oh, autopsy on the tunnelers. So we're still doing stuff with the tunnelers too. Given the vast amount of tunnelers recovered, we've been able to dissect the things, and biologists have learned a few disturbing facts. First off, they were at least human once, yet there are no signs of FEV that caused this biological mutation, meaning this was straight radiation that mutated them. Biologists are baffled, as there have been other instances of underground humans having slight mutations, but nothing this drastic. Bioluminescence, scales, poison glands in their mouths, and eyes adapted to low light environments. Whatever situation happened in the Divide during the Great War managed to regress the humans there beyond primate and out of mammal kingdom and into the realm of reptiles. I feel like this was probably there's probably a vault or like some lab down there or something like that, or somewhere in the area that mutated these humans. Biologists are still wishing to study them more, especially as the Slantier learned to breed them to continue their cavalry corps. How is this even possible? Also, I learned the cavalry corps is actually under infantry, which is hilarious. So the 2 sons should be following here in a minute. Dude, just kill these guys, please. Thank you. Finally. Oh my god. Okay, I need you to move here.
Yeah, you can say that again.
So that way we could surround these guys here and do that. So another region raiding party. Dude, we're just sinking like everything that Caesar has here.
Why isn't your video feed working?
Okay, now close the gap here, please. I don't think that's a port. Nice, okay. Yeah, dude, this is Caesar. Yeah, Caesar's dead. Oh my god, we surrounded a bunch of troops here too. Town expanded. After a few months, our engineers have built the local settlements better, planned houses and more protection than just the palisades. The locals erected themselves. It seems the region is drawing in more settlers and faster. Good work. So I think that's just from us building up areas like towns and stuff. So we sunk 11 more convoys here. We lost another light ship. You know, I just thought if I... Let's do something real quick. Close air support. Ah, dude, if I actually did, like... How big was this airfield? I'm going way over, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going way over. Let's start terrorizing their navy. If only I made more of the actual naval bombers by now. Okay, so our armored prospectors are still going. They're taking time. Okay, let's go back to this front because I know you guys need a new front line to attack. God, you guys have stretched all the way across, though. But Vault X1. I wonder, is that considered like the first vault? It's where this is X1. I guess we'll find out once we take it. Oh, wait, what does that do? So, foundries, we lose power and water, but we gain more of the other, of those. You know what? We'll do it. I think we'll do that, because we do that material we need more of. God, dude, these guys that were holding our front here, I might need to expand your front a bit more, because, you guys are pushing this a lot more than I was expecting, honestly. Like, I knew we were going to get some pushes, but because of the Caesar's war down south, he was not ready for the game just to throw us into a war against each other. Honestly, I wasn't even that ready. A lot of my guys were still making their way towards the front from the north. I thought they'd get there a lot faster than they did. You know what? Doing this whole front line thing will help a lot with these mountains, too. Because I'm not going to sit here and have, like, these weird split fronts all the way through. So that's also going to be nice. I don't know how much Caesar will keep fighting till... Oh, he's also fighting over here. He was taking out them. We're just going to fill up all of this territory here with these guys. See, I also don't know, like, because the Enclave Redux mod, I would say, is a little OP, especially with some of the options you get, military-wise. So I would definitely say, because I'm playing on challenging, probably going with a higher difficulty if you're doing this. I don't know how a normal playthrough would go outside of playing the Enclave Redux, because you do get really good tech and stuff from a lot of these options that you get in the actual focus. Jesus, my ears. Supping with the devil. What does that even mean? Supping with the devil. Against all odds, United States of America forces have turned the tide against the Legion and marched to liberate the people held in bondage. But Santa Anna is no fool and knows he cannot face the power of the United States of America. He has offered to support the Legion's war efforts, providing men and material to bolster the Legion's forces. Although mighty Caesar has nothing but contempt for a robot army, Lannis's counsel that it's better to lose a neighbor's robot than your own soldier prevails. Once more, the general marches north to snuff out the cause of freedom. We beat him once before, we'll do it again. So although Santa Anna is now marching north, perhaps it's time to formally reach out to the people of Mexico. Flagstaff liberated. Fuck the Enclave. I like that. It's funny. Vertibirds swept overhead as Enclave soldiers trample the Legion's banners. The city's slaves wait to learn whether they found freedom or a new master, but the president can be proud to know that For the first time in 200 years, the Stars and Stripes flies over Arizona. Six Emperor Tyrannus. Hunting the Palatine. Our return to Phoenix marked another key moment as Sigma teams, backed up by Rangers, deployed in mass to Phoenix University, where the Aquilin Palatine had been given refuge to assist the Legion in defeating us. Battling through the contingent of Centurions, the place was secured within a few hours. The Colonel and Colonel Callahan reports that the Palatine isn't present. Seems, however, the writing on the wall. Okay, I don't know what that was supposed to mean. I guess it's supposed to be the word. I don't know how that was. I get what they're saying, but oh my god, is that like all over the place? Just that one sentence. Or rather, saw the bombers in the sky, and upon storming the place, only found sick, injured, and wounded. The ones left behind. Colonel Callahan has been at the interrogation these remnants, and it's become clear that the traitorous Palatine booked it a few hours before the army approached the city. Using the confusion and the chaos, they stole an airship and fled further east, likely going to Chicago, according to most. Oh, okay, so these are the guys that fled from the Enclave. Like, if you remember, we got some guys flee very earlier on that came to Caesar's Legion. That's who we're looking for right here. Seems Legion figured it out, however, and stormed the university as they were trying to flee, and those who didn't flee were left to their fate by the vengeful Centurions, who we engaged upon assaulting the place. They may have escaped our grasp, but it's likely they won't find any refuge in Chicago or beyond. Doesn't matter. We'll get those traitors if we have to hunt them until the end of this continent. Those bastards. AFN News. Legion sent packing. Legion forces have been thrown into disarray following a series of attacks by Army forces, supported by the Air Force. Typical Legion columns, normally used to marching unopposed through their lands, have been forced to move at night to avoid being bombed to bits by patrolling American aircraft. Air Force commanders are hoping new night and thermal vision placed in vertibirds and attack aircraft will further disrupt Legion movement, scattering them like roaches. Army forces, meanwhile, continue to push further east and have reported that some Legion units are starting to surrender, with more than one of their Centurions strung up from telephone poles. Analysts say this is a sign that the Legion mythos is starting to break. Show those Reds what's coming to them. Oh my god, we got a lot of AFN News. AFN News, the Legion can't handle American freedom. Legion forces have continually attacked American fighting positions all across the front line, only to find themselves climbing over a mountain of their own dead just to face death at the hands of American soldiers armed with laser rifles and supported by a mighty Air Force despite all the warnings given about the effectiveness of the Legion. United States of America have held the line against the Red Tide of Arizona and pushed them back into their own lands, forward into Mexico. AFN News from the front. Firefight in Phoenix. Dakota Cannon reporting in on the streets of Phoenix. United States of America troops have pushed the Legion back to the outskirts of Phoenix. Wait, we have breaking news. Reports are coming in of a slave rebellion in Phoenix. Apparently, Aurelius of Phoenix feared the Legion's setback would trigger a slave rebellion and ordered the city's slaves executed. Unfortunately for Aurelius, his brutality ended up triggering the rebellion itself. Talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy. United States of America's Air Force is planning to airdrop supplies and weapons to help the ex-slaves keep fighting the good fight, everyone. Legion is the very definition of failure. So we gain cores on North Phoenix and South Phoenix. The fall of Fortification Hill. Oh, Fortification Hill, is that where I think that's where you fight at the end of the story of New Vegas, right? Where you can like activate the bunker and stuff. For something I was wondering, so Securitrons, you only really ever see Securitrons in Fallout New Vegas. I don't think I've ever really seen Securitrons outside of New Vegas. So was that just a New Vegas robot, or it was that like, because you'd think Securitrons would be like kind of everywhere because they're security robots, right? Like outside of military use, because I know military use they would use the big rolling death machines. And then maybe some other areas would use like protectrons in public like areas. But I feel like Securitrons would be like everywhere unless like House made them and then just didn't sell them anywhere else. Or maybe they were everywhere and House just brought them back like through protocols and just made them all return to New Vegas to him. Fortification Hill, or in more recent years, the Fort, was to be the stepping stone for Caesar's conquest of the NCR. Even with our comparably hyper-advanced equipment, it proved a tough nut to crack. But today, former members of the Yakuza led a God's honest bonsai charge up the hill and secured it. Dude, I love that I kept the, the honor of, like, the Yakuza and stuff, of their culture, because that is great. I love seeing that. Brutal hand-to-hand fighting was reported between our troops and a cohort of Centurions and Caesar's own Praetorian Guard. With the fall of the fort, the road lays open to Flagstaff. They really did go for broke. Add Bonsai, which grants minus 3% division attrition and plus 2% attack. A Medal of Honor, 200 years in the making. Oh, we have a Medal of Honor recipient. In a ceremony honoring a true American hero today, the president has awarded the highly prestigious Medal of Honor to one of its most courageous soldiers, Corporal Audie Dobbs, a pre-war survivor found in stasis in Sierra Army Depot, is credited with saving the town of Golden Valley from a dastardly Legion attack, saving countless American lives. The citation reads, oh, okay, so this was the guy that we found in the lower depths of the Sierra Army Depot in stasis. For conspicuous gallantry and these are some intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty in his role as a power-armored infantryman with forward elements of the U.S. Army. While engaging in urban combat against forces of Caesar's Legion, Corporal Audie Dobbs demonstrated extraordinary heroism in the face of grave danger. Corporal Dobbs discovered members of Caesar's Legion attempting to detonate a dirty bomb within a parking garage, which would undoubtedly destroy the town of Golden Valley. And the American forces therein, Corporal Dobbs single-handedly took on 5 Centurions, 3 Praetorian Guards, and numerous legionaries whilst awaiting backup, preventing the destruction of the town by his selfless courage and extraordinary devotion above and beyond the call of duty. Corporal Dobbs reflects a great credit upon himself and the nation, and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Army. It is my honor to award this to a true American hero. Dude, that is nuts. Okay. My man definitely went, like, above and beyond the Call of Duty there. Okay, let's research the Enclave battleship next. Wait. Something else I need to do. Production. Because we have Molemen equipment now? That is crazy. So we have the Molemen equipment, we have the Slant Tier Cavalry equipment. Wait, do we have to research the Gauss weapons? Oh, we might have to. I thought we just got the Gauss weapons. Okay, we have like 3 days on some of these. We'll wait to see if there is research for the Gauss weapons. Dude, our power armor units are just like, they're just pushing quick. Like, all of our infantry is just like, okay, we'll get there eventually. Our power armor troops are just like, yep, we're just gonna push. Whoop. God, we finished a lot of stuff there all at once. The United States of America, so we defeated 2 Suns. So finally we defeated 2 Suns, funny enough. 2 Suns capitulated, gave us access to 50% of their stored stockpile. Oh, they didn't really have anything left. They had 37 Wasteland tanks left. They were legit Caesar's tank force there. Like, that's what they were. They were Caesar's tank force. The Forge of Freedom. Pre-war America was known as the arsenal of democracy, and its industrial capacity was unrivaled. Even the Chinese communists couldn't hope to meet the output of the United States during the war. It was only the Great War that brought the end. Even today, the surviving husks of the pre-war era are still looked to with envy by every supposed post-war industrialist. If we were to reestablish such power, the Wasteland would have nothing to stand against us. Jesus. As we produced weapons and armor by the thousands, why they produce only in the tens? Old world corporations like Robco, Westtech meeting alongside new startups like the Van Graffs and Tim's Tanks. Tim's Tanks. But of course, there is the fact it was these very corporations that drove riots at home and sent the world into a death spiral alongside the communists. Long ago, the United States military made everything in-house, and it could do so again. Though, we would be sacrificing output when compared to what we could be doing. The debate among the military commanders is reaching fever pitch, and the president's words have more than enough sway. So let us light the old world fire so we get power of the old world. Let us not light the world on fire again. We get strength for the new world. So it gives us like an option to choose one or the other here. So if we go power of the old world, we can do the army goes rolling along. We get some decent bonuses here. We get to restore Lockreed, which is legit Lockheed Martin, funny enough. Peacekeepers in the sky. And then like power armor production lines, first, last, and only line. Weapon optimization. Ooh, power core production. Adds a lot of reliability. Power armor optimizations. Ooh, okay. So if we go... And I know we get these too. So we get like the more naval stuff. We go strength for the new world. We get lessons of the Enclave, reform DARPA. Oh, we get another research slot. A lot more research speed. Future of the Navy. United States of America completes focus. King of the high seas. That goes all the way over here to where freedom flies. This is like all of our Air Force stuff. Okay. Oh, I like how this gives us this technology when other things had already given us that technology. We get power armor forges. Okay, so this also helps with naval-based stuff when it comes to how big we can make our ships. This is kind of rough, actually. Because we can go strength for the new world and just totally kind of role play, you know, not wanting to go the route of the old world and like find strength in the new world. But we are the Enclave as a whole. And so we could go power of the old world too, since we have all of the knowledge and technology from the old world. But we'd have to go like defense contractors. You know, let's just do that. Let's go power of the old world here. I kind of dig that. And then we would have to take defense contracting offices, and then we can go down here because I want to make an aircraft carrier, but I can't right now because we don't have the we can't make our ships that big at the moment. Okay, let's just kind of finish this out a little bit. So we do have like attack dogs. When you guys brought this up, I'm probably just not going to use these, at least as the Enclave right now, because we get so much other things that give us like really good bonuses as support units. Did we damage these? Okay, so we damaged some of their ships with our casts out here in the water. Let's do this, because I might need to move... Yeah, I'm going to need to move my Navy down a little bit. Down to here. And because I'm doing that, I'm going to take my Navy off of these, like, these coast areas. This way, because this is the only way the Caesar can get to me now. Or do anything. Can I request... Okay, so you won't give me docking rights. What about you guys? You give me docking rights. You will not. I might have to take you here in a minute. I need those ports. Good sir. Oh. Okay. I had to pause it because of the copyrighted music, but lighting the old world of fires. For some reason, it unpaused, repaused, and then unpaused it again. That was weird. I don't know how that's gonna look in video, but I'm sorry about that. Lighting the old world fires. I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. J. Robert Oppenheimer. The world can only watch. Wait,
What the
what?
hell is this?
Wait, what? What happened to my field commander here? Did my man get assassinated? What is that? Is that power armor? Dude, I cannot see what that image is. I'm assuming that's power armor. Okay, I think it is. Yeah, 'cause I think those are the shoulders. And that's the head. It looks so weird. Oh, he has like division attacks and stuff. Yeah, let's go. You have 6 defense though. I thought you had more attack than that. You know what? General John Jumpstart Jackson. Let's go with you, but let's do this. Let's give you a very nice cult of personality, good sir. Just get you some more power under there. And then we have this dude here who actually leveled up. He's level 5 now. Who do you have under you? Okay, you have power armor? Yeah. Pain Train. And then let's give you... Let's give you inspirational. So you can get more XP quicker. There we go. Okay, so we do have guys back here who don't have a front anymore. I think this is that big main line there. Okay, so Horgans, power armor units, you're going to join this front line over here. Get to that front. Oh, I see Caesar's Navy over here. Okay. Oh, wait, we have a Navy. Okay, we are already doing this. Oh, because I think we're in... Wait, are we in battle with them right now? No, okay, it just shows we do have some ships over here. I see. I mean, that's fine. It's not like we're having to get across this river anyway. We're already across it. Okay, beautiful. Let's grab some tech here. Wait, intermediate infantry tech. We have intermediate infantry tech. Oh, no, we don't. Oh. We don't have intermediate infantry tech. We were just given this tech before. No, we researched this, though, right? Yeah. I am so confused. Or was this tech different from this tech? But it's all under intermediate. Because I swear we researched this. Like, we're researching this right now. Maybe we were given this? No, because I swear I researched these. I'm so confused by that. Huh. Let's go Enclave Dreadnought. I'm about to look through and see what gives me that then, so we can get that. So we sunk 8 convoys all the way out here, too. That's kind of funny. Kind of just a random area. Okay, I need to stretch these lines back out.
The fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
So that'll go to there. Yeah, because this river here. Some of these other lines we have here from just generals. Oh, those are my Marines. Okay. Yep. Do I move my Marines back to the Western Theater over here? How do I actually do that now that I think about that?
President?
Huh. How do I move these guys back over?
That's a no one.
Oh, okay, there we go. I just like threw him under these guys. I'm gonna put him under this main line. And I think this is just a continuation of my... No, that is not a continuation of my other line. Okay. Legion raiding party. I love how there's still like Legion raiding parties everywhere. I love how our rail guns are getting pushed through over here now. Oh, their lines have...
That's a no one.
Okay.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
And then this is this guy's lines, right? Yeah. We do have straights here, but because of the whole front line thing that we did, we have people actually filling that in. Our scavengers triumph. Okay, so we got old world economic theories, which grants for 180 days. Okay, that's not bad at all.
Enclave here.
Any one of you just to finish those guys off, please?
Everything's always
And then I
tight
also
around
want you
here,
guys to
Enclave.
set up a attack going that way too. Beautiful. Now, do we have any more buffs that we can hit them with? Yep, we can. So I'm just gonna pop all these. If they just re-pop up again with notifications, we're not gonna reread those. Let's just hit them with all kinds of debuffs. Yeah, this northern section, they just do not have troops up here to hold this. We actually don't have that many troops up here in this northern section either. We have like a skeleton force fighting a skeleton force pretty much up north. It's actually kind of funny. Mostly in the middle is where a lot of our troops are. What division is this? That's kind of like on their own right here.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave. Enclave here. A few more moments and I'll have your sorry ass in a sling.
Okay, so it was a part of you guys. Is your front line split? Yes. It is. Let's do this. Perfect. We'll just stretch you all the way down this way now.
This is Enclave main com. Enclave here.
Our forces are just demolishing these guys.
Who the hell is this? The president?
Push that way. Oh, look how this looks like it's wrapping around now. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Wait, they got rid of this one though. Did I do that? I might have done that too close to the previous one. AFN News. End of the Red Menace. The United States of America has all but decimated the Legion, with many units fighting more from fear of reprisal from Legion commanders than belief in their so-called god of a leader. While many Legion commanders still hold large forces under their command, it is going to take a miracle for the Legion to recover from losses given to them from the army. More reports of Legion cohorts killing their own commanders and surrendering are coming from the front line, forcing the army to make several ad hoc prisoner of war crime or war camps in the desert. Despite some criticism, the follower of the apocalypse have moved into captured Legion areas to attend to the wounded Legionnaires, as well as provide basic needs like food and shelter. When asked for comment, army commanders agreed better to let the followers do it, allowing more troops to be able to fight on the front line than rather pull guard duty. Like they never stood a chance. A sunrise over the horizon. I think this is from the free slaves thing. Everything had happened so fast. The slaves, in the barracks, were still asleep when gunfire erupted all around them. Before anyone knew what was happening, hulking individuals in black armor were slaughtering the Legion guards of the work camp. What defense the Legion could put up was cut down by unseen snipers. When everything all ended, the slaves were loaded into Brahmin carts and led out of the area to an awaiting vertibird. After an hour's ride, they touched down somewhere, the sun just coming over the horizon. Greeting them were doctors and others who quickly checked any of the slaves who appeared injured. One of them greeted the now freed slaves. Welcome to the United States of America. We got to watch out because, like I said, some areas, the front line's not keeping up with everyone else. I think my game just crashed. I'm not going to click or touch anything. Oh, that's why. It froze. Caesar actually fell. Caesar's Legion has capitulated, giving us 50% of their stockpile. Dude, this was half their stockpile? Dude, they had a decent stockpile. Jesus. Given they took a lot of countries, too. Or a lot of nations. So we're gonna capture Tucson. Who is... Oh, the chicken people. No. That is my territory, chicken people. And that's my navy now. That's also my navy now. The United States of America has defeated Caesar's Legion in war. After darkness and light. Uranium fever, as any nation own Hopeville and the coast. And early death, as any nation annexed the dominion of Tolek before his demise. Well, I mean, he was already under Caesar's control when we took it, but I'll still take it. I'll still take the achievement, thank you. Let's upgrade this for foundries. Well. Yeah, we have a lot of, like, middle territory clearing to do, honestly. But that's Caesar gone. I feel like if I ever do another Enclave playthrough, like if I do a purist one, I'm definitely going to have to make the game harder than challenging for sure. I think it's just because of the tech that we get. Well, I don't know, because as purists, we wouldn't get the manpower that we have, would we? No. We'd also have to fight the NCR. I don't think we might be able to still annex the NCR that way. I'm not sure. Because when we gained the NCR also, that gave us a lot of economy and everything. Like, yes, it was a pain to deal with, but once everything was dealt with, we were good to go. Oh, that's up here. Whoops, okay. Let's take out these guys, too, while we're at it. The fair and lovely country of Pleasantdale. I meant to do it while I was fighting Caesar, but I was trying to pay more attention to Caesar stuff. Oh my god, dude, we're gonna have so many... Oh, actually, not as many bases as I thought. The only one that I'm probably gonna read out of this is the Kirtland Air Force Base, because it's an Enclave one. The rest of them are pretty much just gonna probably be the same. The corpse. We're not entirely sure what the hell is going on here. On the sunken remains of Corpus Christi Naval Base is another set of remains of a strange green citadel filled to the brim with rotting plants and other strange flora. The Navy's hopes of restoring our Mexican Gulf Naval Base quickly have been dashed as well from the damage from a massive hurricane that ravaged the Texas coast. Between that and the aforementioned citadel, repairs are going to take more time than usual for this one. Demolition teams armed with flamers and incinerators are en route as we speak. Oh, that's cool. What is going on here? Seriously? Interplay? What the hell? That's actually cool. I like that one of those had that issue. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is reuniting the Brotherhood. Oh, so we have some Brotherhood people next to us. So the Colorado expeditions, the fate of the Maxon chapter. I don't know where they're at, though. Where is the Maxon chapter at? Because we have to be bordering them for this to actually work. There's the Midwest Brotherhood. So I'm assuming the Alamo one is the Texas one, which is one of these. And then the Colorado expedition. And then there's the Texas Way there. So once we do that, who lives, who dies, who tells your story? Executive orders. So triggers the epilogue detailing the fate of America. Note that for best results, you should finish the election, press, and segregation trees. Okay, so we've already done all of that. Okay, let me save then, because I want to see how this looks. We'll play through this too. We'll let this play. I'm hoping that it doesn't have copywritten music, or I might have to just delete the audio for it. Let me actually mark down the time for this. This is about what, 1:18? Okay.
And so, the North American wasteland watched as the old world merged with the new. The wasteland remained forever changed as the specter of the United States rose from the ashes of the Great War and laid claim to the continent once again. Granite, the son of an Enclave veteran and the hero of Arroyo, had taken the Enclave, and with it, its dream to restore America. But what became of it? Did Granite live up to the ideals of the Founding Fathers 500 years ago? Or did he forge a brave new America in the face of this dangerous world the United States found itself in?
Oh, okay, that was it. And so the sun rose over the new world. And so the North American wasteland watched as the old world merged with the new. The wasteland remained forever changed as the specter of the United States rose from the ashes of the Great War and laid claim to the continent once again. Granite, the son of an Enclave veteran and hero of Arroyo, had taken the Enclave and with it its dream to restore America. But what became of it? Did Granite? Okay, so this is what he pretty much read out. Because I noticed that sometimes the voice that plays isn't the same that's written down. So gets event, the fate of ghouls. Oh, so it keeps going.
Outsiders within New California and the rest of America. Some were treasured for their pre-war skills or pitied for their deformities. Others were feared due to the possibility of going feral. With the coming of the Enclave, ghouls were integrated into civil society once and for all. Ghouls helped America grapple with its history, for better or worse.
Okay.
With America saved, Dornan resigned with honors and retired to the Strip, developing cocktails which used Nuka-Cola as a mixer. Dornan's bar, the Oil Rig, would become one of the hottest bars of New Vegas, although there were several HR complaints about his reaction if staff were caught out of uniform.
Dude, I could so see Dornan doing this. I'm surprised he retired, for one, but I love that. That is great. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for an atomic agave. Atomic agave,
Granite
Jesus.
continued on as president for many years before finally stepping down, restarting the tradition of presidential term limits instead of serving for life that had become the way of life in the Enclave. Many asked for him not to, but the president remained adamant. In part was his old age, while the rest was a decline in mental faculties due to years of service to his nation. For a full life of service to the American people, Granite was given the title American of the Century, before finally retiring to a modest abode north of Arroyo, overlooking the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
And what of the Enclave? The pre-war specter that was the U.S. government that hoped to bring back the United States to the American shores? President Granite dropped a bombshell on his nation by revealing the crimes of the Enclave to the public. An independent commission was formed, known as the Calhoun Commission after its chief Bill Calhoun, to investigate the allegations. The commission found not only were the Enclave's crimes clear as day, but also uncovered evidence of human rights abuses by the pre-war United States government. While in the short term the scandalous report shattered the United States' legitimacy and led to mass protests, in the long term it helped to build a healthier United States. President Granite's actions set the precedents for transparency. Gone were the days where the government could conduct shady actions behind closed doors, pretending that everything they were doing was for the American public and people, and not for their own machinations of power.
I love how that was getting, like, the volume was getting lower and lower and lower on that. Were we really the bad guys? Special thanks to BrownDog921 on Reddit for the inspiration behind this idea. It gets event the fate of Arcade Cannon. Gannon, Jesus.
Gannon's mother fled from Navarro after the fall of the Oil Rig, but Gannon returned to the Enclave when Granite was elected. He was one of many who put their hopes in the dream of a better world, and found his faith justified.
Oh, and Gannett would serve as mayor of New Vegas for 2 terms before retiring to practice medicine in Freeside. He would continue to complain that his partner made him carry too much when they went camping until his dying day. So it goes.
After the end of the Great War, freedom of speech vanished from most of America. Would-be despots crushed dissenters in the name of security, progress, or just because they could. Under the Enclave, the First Amendment was restored, and voices silent since the Great War spoke out. Fueled by the dream of freedom and the economic boom that followed reuniting the wastes, a new type of music arose, which the kids call New World Blues. It's about letting go of your first love because you've met your next. It's about letting go of the past because you've got to enjoy the present. And it's so poppy that everyone's parents hated it.
That's funny. Okay. EDE play party in the USA. Was democracy non-negotiable?
House once said, "If you want to see the fate of democracies, look out the windows." But House didn't address the fact that pre-war America was not a democracy. Granite's dream was to restore America at its best, and that meant the land of freedom. Deciding not to seek a fourth term after the war with Chicago, Granite stayed silent during debates over the Brotherhood War, the Hawaiian Conference, and the campaign against the South American raiders. Those debates, bringing forth millions of voters across the reunited states, were simply democracy in action.
So it goes. Separate or equal.
The Enclave once believed that Wastelanders were mutants fit only for extermination.
Hey, Lincoln has
And
his
even
head.
many reformers within the Enclave viewed the Wastelanders as, if human, second-class citizens. More than one centrist saw the Wastelanders as humans, but inferior stock, who needed to be salvaged through genetic testing and other programs to save the American people. Under Granite, America tried to live up to its founding ideals, that all men are created equal. Wastelanders, Vault Dwellers, and Enclave purists all lived together, continuing the American experiment.
So it goes. The fate of America.
The Great War saw an end to the America of old, snuffed out in the blinding flash of nuclear bombs. Worse still, those who sought shelter in the vaults for safety were subjected to horrifying experiments at the hands of those who claimed to protect them. 200 years later, however, the government had returned to the mainland, and under the Enclave, America was reborn, the stars and stripes flying high over the land. And while still a far cry from the America of old, it gave people hope. Where raiders, knights, and barons once tread saw communities, families, and the first progress in centuries. America had come out of the Great War a little battered, but better than it ever had been. As the 2300s closed in, the future had never been brighter.
God bless America. Okay, that was actually cool. I liked that. It also saved me from having to read, except for that one little bit. But for the most part, it saved me from having to read. Okay. So now the nice thing is because of that, once we finish this, we can go... where is it? I think it's Masters of the... Yeah, we can take Masters of the Wasteland, which gives us Annex War Goal against everyone. And with that, we could start our mass crusade legit against everyone and take everything. Okay, we need Country of Pleasantdale. Did I already grab it? Nope, there it is. Because we'll do some of these until we can actually fully take that. And then we should be, or we should have incorporated some of the other Brotherhood groups. See, I'm not sure, because even if they're not around, I think it still might say that. But we have the Midwest Brotherhood here. But I don't know if that's, like, one of them that we could actually take with that, is the thing. Jesus. Okay, okay, let's restore some of these two while we're at it. So let's do the dredging Portland's Harbor, and then we'll search for the Purists, and then we'll let those two go. You know what, actually, let's do it, because we have a lot of war coming up. Because we have the Enclave cruiser. We have a lot of Navy, too, that's going to be happening. Yeah, go back to Port San Diego. That way I can do my pirate raids and stuff still. We need to stop production of ships in Bitter Springs. I'm also going to make all new ships at some point, but at the moment, where are you guys located? You guys are located all the way up here, surprisingly. I'm just going to get rid of you guys because you guys can't really go anywhere. That's one thing that sucks about the Navy in this a little bit. Yeah, like these guys here, like they can't go anywhere. And it sucks because these are all good ships. But they're all stuck in the rivers. Dude, why was like most of Caesar's Navy all the way up here? Like that is crazy. And these guys are in Bitter Springs, which I will put them under him. And I'll leave that Navy here on this river here. Okay, so the prospectors are still returning. That goes all of that tech. And then now we could take our other naval tech. So when we do build these out, we can get just crazy ships going. Okay, we're probably going to do some small ships first. So we'll take some of the torpedo stuff for them. Let's get
Enclave main comm.
our military together to start fighting wars against these other areas. Because these guys, like, they're all the way down south. Once we take these guys out, we won't have to worry about anything really down here anymore.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
I'm actually going to split these guys a little bit. Also. This way we're not having issues with them pushing this way.
This is Enclave main comm.
Crap.
Enclave here.
And then this should be the last. So, oh, nope. Section here. Perfect. Nice. Okay. So they'll all go where they need to go there.
Enclave here.
I have my forces down here. You guys will take over the Grand Cartel. When we go to war against them. They're up north taking them.
Enclave here.
I have these guys here doing their whole front line stuff, which I need to also get rid of now. So just delete all of that. And then... the funny thing is I could just do a lot of this too. I wish there was a way to click and drag it to kind of like paint the area. I feel like that would be nice. Because if I do this, hopefully these guys will just kind of like move into it when we go to take them. Because they should just go all around it and then move in when where they need to. Which is pretty cool. I do like that frontline stuff now. That is actually very cool.
This is Enclave
And then these
main
guys are just out here protecting ports.
comm. A few more moments
And then you
I'll
have
your
the-
sorry ass in a
Oh,
sling.
we actually have some red going on up here. Oh, they have some good tank divisions and stuff. We don't really have like a crazy good force up here, except for some of our power armor, but it looks like some of our infantry is actually having issues.
Excellent!
Oh. Yeah, some of these were forces that we took from the Brotherhood, so they're not my templates. Okay. That's right. I forgot I did that. I requested troops from the American Brotherhood to use them up here. I feel like we should still be fine though. We have so much green across all that border. The Grand Cartel, yeah, but so we don't have one. We might have a notification here. Let's see if we do or not. Blows Cradle, Lesser Bout, Grand Cartel. Okay, I like how they only cost 10 also, because we are extremely low on PP right now. Let me make sure my forces are actually on the front. They're not fully on the front yet. Okay, yeah, get to the front, please. Dude, I'm just losing so much FPS because I have so many troops moving just across the country right now. Oh, man. This has been something, though. I've really, really, really enjoyed this. And honestly, it actually made me go look up some mods because I was looking at collection mods for New Vegas. Wait, what? The Eastern... Let me look at that real quick. So the fate of Alamo Chapter. So despite breaking off from the Texan Brotherhood to continue the original mission, the Alamo Chapter found itself in the crosshairs by Santa Ana in a twist of irony over 300 years in the making, defending the Alamo against the despotic AI robot hordes. The Alamo Chapter will be toasted and remembered for years to come for their bravery and determination against all odds. Remember the Alamo chapter. Their paladins, knights, scribes, and lancers would join the United States. Fate of the Maxon chapter. A mission to save the treasures of the old world, the Maxon expedition, could have become the Colorado Brotherhood. If not for Lannis and the Legion, it should be the Maxon expedition we thank for putting the fear of power armor into the Legion and remembering Colorado that the old world was not something to be so easily forgotten. Ad Victoriam. I actually want to get that as a tattoo. I want to get the Brotherhood of Steel logo. I don't know which chapter I want to do. I'm thinking about just doing the basic Brotherhood of Steel logo. And then I want to get Ad Victoriam on it. Because I was thinking about doing Brotherhood of Steel logo, get U.S. Army above it, probably with like a knife behind it or something like that. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do for that. But I do want to have it say like U.S. Army. And then below the Brotherhood of Steel logo, say Ad Victoriam. I feel like that would be really cool. Something that I've been looking at for a minute. Now, who is it? Anointed demands territory. So that means they're about to declare war on us too. And I don't like how close they are to us.
Why isn't your video feed working?
Well, the funny thing is a lot of my forces that were up here that are heading down south, it sucks because I'm going to have to get rid of all my front lines that I set up, but they're kind of close to the Lord's Anointed.
Enclave here.
So this makes it kind of easy for me to
Who the hell is this?
place troops on their border.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
You guys are just making this so much easier for me.
That's a no one.
I'm guessing because I just don't have troops nearby, they're like, hey, we could, we can just sweep across your territory.
Why isn't your video feed working? Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
I think that's all of the fronts. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, nope, we have one tiny one there. I'm just going to do it to fill all the gaps, because why not? Okay, I'm going to wait before I click this, because I'm wondering if that will... Oh, let's conduct a pirate cruise. Help with that. Okay, we have some restorations here, too. Let's do this other power station here, repair some of the Hoover Dam. Let's put stimuluses into these other cities. And oh nope, so it doesn't. Okay, so this still goes. Big sad. Find ready power grids, power on all the power grids. I know I need to build a lot more of said power grids. Okay. And let's do this.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
Strategic redeployment on. Get up there as quickly as you can. We have 9 days. Go do yo due diligence. Oh, the pirates of the mall. With the destruction of the mall, we need to decide what to do with the pirates who made it home. We could scatter them through the waste, but some of the pirates claim they were engaging in aggressive commerce given the lack of protection for shipping in the region. Use them to revive the United States Merchant Marine. That is actually cool. We lose some stability, but in Portland we gain 2 naval bases and then Masters of the Waves. Oh yeah, let's do that. That's awesome. I like that. Okay, most of my troops are kind of in place up here. Oh, Jesus. Okay, the super mutant question. The Troll Warren has given rise to an odd conundrum. Although, obviously, we'll execute the war criminals, a super mutant who used to live in Vault 6, Betty, has claimed that she and many of the super mutants are victims of circumstance, and they treated humans under their rule no worse than neighboring tribes would have. Betty, based on her Vault education, has invoked constitutional claims on behalf of her and the other super mutants and demand a place in the United States. And of course, a captive population of super mutants could have economic applications. Honest labor will make them honest, men. Available because you chose to integrate mutants. So we lose some more stability. I mean, we're sitting at 100 stability. But we gain some civs and arms factories. Restoring Salem. Salem, once the capital of Oregon, represents much of the state now, as it did then. A freak horror show. Run by the longest time by the rig breakers, the cannibals would capture settlers and traders on the roads with their femur breakers. or rather bear traps, and drag them to Salem to eat them. It's even more bizarre that so many here turn to cannibalism since they have success or access to the Willamette River, and hunting mirelurks is far easier than hunting humans for food. Though the mirelurk worshipping tribe to the south might have something to do with that. In any respect, they continued this operation until the troll warren in capturing subjects for FEV dipping and resisted the Brotherhood from up north all the same. Then we come along and put an end to this once and for all. Most of Salem has been reduced to ash as demo teams tore through the city, setting ablaze anything that resisted them. We rescued a few settlers, however, we're not sure if all of them are still sane after what we've seen. The state government has set up shop in Salem once again and is reconstituting the Oregon State Police and National Guard to go after the remnants of cannibals that have marred Oregon's reputation. No one likes cannibals. The capital of Oregon is returned to Salem. Like I says, to Salem. Oh no, I thought this said Salem, but then it says Salem adds to infrastructure. Restoring Olympia. Following the Great War, Olympia avoided the destruction that befell Washington cities. Washington cities, ironically, due to its proximity to Seattle and Joint Base Lewis McChord, an emergency government made up of the Seattle surviving government and military personnel, managed to hang on for some time, but as the weather worsened, things looked bleak. By 2275, it is all but abandoned. Even the Washington Brotherhood didn't care for it and left it to its fate. We do know sometime in the late 2100s, ice lurks attacked the city, trying to use the surviving power plants to lay their eggs. After an ice lurk queen destroyed the old state capitol building, the city of Olympia was abandoned, and now it hardly shows up on caravan trade maps. Many of its survivors joined up with the Olympus tribe or made for Port Mall. Well, we're back, and yes, the ice lurks still reside in the city ruins, or rather did reside in the city ruins. A concentrated campaign by the Air Force, Coast Guard, and Army managed to clear out the city, with the ice lurk queens being killed in an airstrike. What we found since is that the city is in remarkable condition despite being overrun with ice lurks. Much of the infrastructure is still intact, and with it, the state government is setting up shop and hoping to restore Washington to its former glory. What's an ice lurk? It's like a mirelurk, but icy. The capital of Washington is returned to Olympia. Kodiak Base, add 2 infrastructure, add 10 victory points to Kodiak Base. Restoring Boise. In the wake of the Great War, Boise, Idaho, like much of the United States, was left in ruins. The harsh temperatures of the state and the lack of food meant many could no longer live in the city and were forced to move to areas along the Snake River and elsewhere, further south. Over time, it fell off caravan maps, and all that remained was a windswept skeleton of the once great city. These remains eventually under the control of St. Michael's Militant Church of Heaven's Gate, and he used Boise as an example of those who came before and were destroyed in God's wrath. Of course, where St. Michael saw destruction, we saw opportunity. The city itself is isolated from the religious zealotry that dominates Idaho, and that kind of stuff is hard to pierce. We've undertaken a massive restoration project to rebuild the city, to focus away from the Christian seat of power in the mountains and usurp their power. The streets are being cleared of debris, vital infrastructure is well on its way to being repaired, and new buildings are beginning to rise from the ashes. The Idaho state government is setting up shop, and its first order of business is to clear out the remaining partisans in the mountains, a task that is not easy in the slightest. Hopefully, in time, the state, once a bastion of religious extremism, will serve as a shining example of the United States of America's commitment to rebuilding the nation, and that man doesn't need to live in fear of a brutal God, but instead enjoy the world that God has created. So, where is it on the map? The capital of Idaho is returned to Boise windy isolation. So change his name to Boys, add to infrastructure. The Dark Foundry. We've heard that the Washington Brotherhood worships a Dark Foundry, but as we dig them out of the ruins of Seattle, it appears the truth is more prosaic. A Zax supercomputer survived the war and has been advising the Washington Brotherhood in exchange for resources. Hard to imagine anyone would be dumb enough to follow a supercomputer, but it's picked up a great deal of knowledge and advice about the Wasteland. Another mad AI, pull the plug, so we get 2 production. Add its copy its databanks while it tries to solve pi. Honestly, we don't need that. Just give us the production. For we stand at Heaven's Gate. Saint Michael and his flock within the lands of Heaven's Gate attempted to spread the word of God to what they deemed unholy lands filled with sinners and pagans. Unfortunately, Saint Michael considered a lot of people unholy sinners and pagans. Despite claiming to heed the word of God, he failed to realize that God blessed the Enclave and God blessed America. Even an alliance with Caesar failed to stop his undoing, and his holy crusade ended up with U.S. forces crashing through his city with divine vengeance. While many of his followers fell in the fighting, we captured St. Michael, though his more fervent followers have taken to the mountains, believing they can eke out a resistance. It gets rather cold in the winter. Set a trial, we will bring them the light of civilization. The children of Edom in the days of Jerusalem said, raise it even to the foundation. So Jesus, okay, we just murder a lot of people, apparently. I guess just, like, yeah, we'll bring them to the light of civilization. I love that we could just, like, raise them, though. The trial of St. Michael. The federal courthouse in New Reno was surrounded by dozens of heavily armed police, even power-armored U.S. Marshals as St. Michael. Dude, power-armored U.S. Marshals sounds horrendous. You guys get chased by U.S. Marshals and they show up in power armor? That would be crazy, dude. Oh my God, how do you fight that? The would-be leader of Heaven's Gate from Idaho was sentenced today for 5 life sentences plus 1,207 years for terrorism. Jesus. Conspiracy to commit mass genocide, inciting a rebellion against the government of the United States, and running a cult. St. Michael was noted as being defiant and flippant about U.S. law, claiming that he only answered to God's law. I mean, you can only answer to God's law, but the U.S. government will still throw you in jail and force you to answer to the U.S. laws. While his defense attorney wished to have the religious icon's case dismissed on the grounds that he was unfit to stand trial, the prosecution pointed out anyone intelligent enough to pull off what he did in Idaho is more than competent enough to stand trial. In a humorous turn of events, Attorney General Felix Grayson was quoted as saying, "If God wanted you to do what you did, he wouldn't have sent me." After the trial, the Attorney General spoke to reporters and made it clear that no one on this earth is above the law, not even self-proclaimed saints. No exceptions. We gain 1% of legitimacy and 100 PP. Oh my God. We do have the straights down here, but I'm probably not even going to do anything with those straights. I'm probably just going to smack them down. How are you guys doing in the north? Why do we have, like, nobody on, like, here?
Why isn't your video feed working?
We do not have enough troops in the north, apparently, to cover the front. At least on the left side. But on the right side, dude, we're just eating them up. We'll eat up this right side, and then we'll move left. Oh, they're moving across this, too. That's fine. You guys can waste your time going right. That's just less troops you have on the main front line here as I capture your victory points.
Why isn't your video feed working?
Go after these main...
Enclave here.
Go after these victory points here.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
These guys should be declaring war on us here in a little bit. Most of our troops have made it up here, though, so that's good. Let's arm some more mini nukes. Oh. Okay, so they just fell. Do I take their... No, I'm not going to take their navy, honestly. Because all I'm going to do is get rid of it because it's not like I can really send it anywhere. Okay. Man. We still have this little island over here. For the Haida Confederation? Yep. So we'll have to take this out. We'll probably wait on that, though, until we get the Annex War Goal against everybody. What I'm probably going to send these guys to is to go deal with these guys down here, because I do want to get rid of these guys. Question is, though, are these guys actually a part of the list now, or no? Probably not, honestly. No, they're not. That sucks. Okay. How long is it going to take to justify on you? 125 days. Okay, maybe we're not dealing with these guys right now. Yep. Let's just keep it to, I guess, the guys that we're going to be fighting. Are these guys in a faction? I just thought about that. I know there is one of the factions up here. Okay, these guys aren't in a faction, because I think all of these guys are in a faction right here. What about Lone Tree? Okay, so Lone Tree is not in a faction. Is Lone Tree on this list? Lone Tree, where are you? You are not on this list. Okay. These guys we'll deal with quickly, and then I'll probably actually just declare war on these guys. So let me get the Brotherhood down here. And then I'll actually just set them up here, because they can just easily cut this off right here as they're trying to push that way. And then we'll just do something like that with them there. And then once these guys deal with the Lord Anointed, we can just send them to around the other areas. Okay, most of our guys are in position over here. Let's just do the declare war on these guys just to get them gone. And then this way I can move my military into other areas. Okay, we got defense contractors, but to be able to get my war going much quicker against everybody, we're going to go down this to gain war goal, annex goals on everybody in the world. Okay.
Enclave here.
Nice. Okay, so our tanks are pushing this way. Oof, we're getting some of that screen flashing, but it's not that bad. I see the Chicken Itza down here are pushing troops to their border. But given they just fought a massive war with Caesar also, and pretty much lost, like they were pushed all the way back here, they're probably not going to have that strong of a force, honestly. Traders from southern empires. In the decades that followed the Great War, a radiation soaked into the great forests and jungles of South America, irradiating the wildlife and poisoning the air. The jungles drank up the radiation of those horrible warheads, slowly twisting out of all recognition into an irradiated hellhole. Dude, I could just imagine what jungles look like. Like with irradiated fauna and the creatures that are in the jungle. That sounds horrific. I feel like we just burned the jungles at this point. just napalm them. Once tame animals became vicious hunters, and the multitude of snakes and spiders grew in size drastically, preying on each other and the humans that remained. While South America was spared direct nuclear hits, they suffered terribly from mutated wildlife and failing crops. The survivors of the first decade would slowly regroup on the coasts and the Patagonian plateau into one of the many southern empires' great raiding groups who controlled vast swaths of territory, always at war with each other and struggling to get by. Not all of those who reside in these southern empires subscribed to their raiding philosophy, however. Coastal communities retaining independence through the payment of tribute to various factions have become wealthy trade hubs, trading animal hides and delicious rainforest fruits. These South American city-states have slowly been strengthening their trading links with nations on the Gulf of Mexico who trade advanced components and scrap metal in exchange. A fleet of trading ships has recently docked in our ports and offer us a rare opportunity to snap up some rare commodities. We should act quick though, as they seldom stay for long. Okay, so this is like the trading one that we got from like Hawaii. I know we had one from India. So I'm assuming the more area you take over, the more the traders like from different areas you get. That's actually really cool. I like that. So we can get a research bonus for agriculture. We should pay them to teach us the art of diplomacy, which we gain. Oh, Douglas Granite. gains expert negotiator. So we get a permanent perk for a plus 20% trade opinion factor. That is awesome. We remember America. In his darkest hour before his election, Douglas Granite asked, "Is there anything left? Anything that still carries America's voice?" The president's decision to save Flagstaff demonstrated his faith that the answer was yes. America didn't need nukes. It needed the slave who deserted in the dark of night, the followers who spread their teachings in the lands of the Midwest Brotherhood, and the Minutemen who held the line against the Institute. Douglas Granite was flawed, and he made many, many mistakes, but he turned the Enclave into a bridge between the old and new world. He brought the reunited states together. Thanks to him, there would be men and women who wore his flag proudly at Hoover Dam, at the Second Alamo, and even in the capital Wasteland, men and women who walked out of and into a history deeper than they knew, the men and women of America. God bless the Enclave. So the Minutemen, I think they're in it, but I think they're part of the map filler mod. I don't think, because there's 3 mods that aren't currently working because Rust Belt Rising isn't updated. I know it's Rust Belt Rising, New England Rising. That's why a lot of this is just like not actual factions. It's pretty much like the kudzu overgrowth. And then I think what's considered like the North Carolina, South Carolina, all of this. And this area is, I can't remember what it's called now. It's like something, God, it starts with an M. It's like something in Monarchs or something like that. I can't remember now. We have a situation developing in Colorado. 2 outposts out in Colorado are reporting contact with death claws. Normally, that wouldn't be an issue, in fact. The Army has standard procedure for this, in that troops hunker down and await the air support. It's if heavy ordnance isn't at their disposal, however. 2 were wearing shrouds, which isn't unheard of, but they were traveling with a human. When said human approached, he said he was there to parlay between the Army and the pack of intelligent death claws down below. Yes, you heard that right. Intelligent death claws. Bro, what? Well, if that didn't work, it's way up the chain of command, all the way to the office of the president. Bro, could you imagine? Dude, we need to put these guys in the Army. We need death claws in the Army. We've heard rumors of intelligent death claws out of the Midwest, and there are scattered reports that our predecessors on the rig once experimented with FEV and death claws, but supposedly they were all wiped out. Right now, however, we have a pack of these things that are asking for safe passage and shelter within our borders, claiming they are on the run from extermination squads from Chicago. I'm sorry, what? They can talk? Of course they can. They can talk? Of course they can. We've gotten more out of the Deathclaw matriarch in charge of her brood. If you've ever heard a Deathclaw speak, let me tell you, it's weird. They are a mix of some intelligent Deathclaw tribes that once roamed the Midwest and escapees from Chicago experiments. So wait a minute, so if you're telling me if I play the Chicago Enclave that I could do like intelligent Deathclaws? Ooh, what about like I love that these guys are the Eastern Reconstruction Authority now, like with Eden and stuff out here, but it's with Colonel Augustus Autumn at the helm. God, where was I? They're not asking for much, just safe and secure areas where they can live out their lives in peace. They don't even want to be near human settlements. Secluded areas away from humans and everything else where they can live quietly. They've also agreed to even hunt their more feral cousins. Their intelligence and tribal pack hunting styles make them more than a match for even the most vicious of savage Deathclaws. I mean, hey, if anything, strap some armor to their chest and put the, massive, just army seal on them. And that way we know not to shoot them. And then they can just serve as, in the military. That's your place. You could be alongside humans. We won't hide it. It's bizarre. We've been pretty open about allowing any and all sentient species into our ranks, but intelligent Deathclaws? This one's extreme even for us. However, they don't seem to have any ill intentions towards us and just want to be left alone to their own devices. Of course, how you can read the face of a Deathclaw or tell the inflection in their voice is beyond us. Okay, but we're monitoring them. They've said our terms are acceptable. Gets event March of the Deathclaws. Oh, okay. Been talking a lot here for a second. The captured Palatine comes home. It was on purpose to fly in and capture members of the Aquilin Palatine into Fort Sierra during the daylight hours. Psychological warfare to show them just how big a mistake they had made. When they had fled the depot following Granite's reforms all those years ago, the base was dilapidated, run down, and much of it still derelict. Now it was a modern-day fortress with buildings constructed post-war, restored hangars, and even the town of Harlong had grown threefold. Most of them had spent the past few weeks being treated in a military hospital under constant guard, ensuring they were fit and healthy to be tried for their crimes. Stepping onto the landing pad under escort, met by several soldiers in power armor, none of them were too happy to see them. Though were under strict orders to ensure that no harm came to them, that order was enforced by none other than Sergeant Major Dornan, who stood at the front of the soldiers with the most distinguished look on his face any of them had ever seen. He had saved them, led them to better lives twice. They repaid him by trying to stab him in the back. None dared to look him in the eyes. Just wait until we take them to Navarro. Trial of the captured Palatine. Oh God, okay.
That's a no one. Who the hell is this?
We've almost made it without having to restart again for the textures.
Enclave here.
Yeah, these guys are done for. They're donezo. They've legit got like, no, I wonder, are we even, I think we're outrunning some of them. Like we're just overrunning their positions. Okay, so they are pushing through here, but that's totally fine.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
They're gonna fall before they take too much from us there. And these guys are almost all in position. The northern section isn't, but I don't see these guys. Wait, did I just see a Legion raiding party thing event pop? I'm so confused. What? We got remnants of the Legion raiding parties still, apparently. Secure material transportation. Yep. Build up major settlements. Establish an outpost. What do we have through here? Ooh, I like that. Yeah, give me some more PP. God, we have so many cities that are going to be coming up. Okay, so the war against the Lords Anointed should be starting here in a second. Not everyone's fully made it, but at least these guys have. Oh, these guys are up here. Never mind. Yeah, we have more than enough to just overrun them when that happens. I'm just going to get rid of all these markers. Oh, here we go. March of the Deathclaws. March of the Deathclaws. Seems our intelligent Deathclaw problem just got a bit worse. We thought it was only going to be a few dozen, maybe breaking into triple digits. Turns out it's exactly into triple digits, as several broods of the things have been making their way into Colorado. We've confronted the matriarch who first spoke to us. Actually, I remember I actually do remember the intelligent Deathclaws, because I think there was a quest for it and stuff in New Vegas. I totally forgot about that being a thing with talking to them. It was basically a miscommunication, or she deliberately hid this from us. Apparently, this breakout happened some time ago, back in the late 50s, and the Chicago FEV intelligent Deathclaws have been intermingling, with the Midwestern packs ever since. All in all, numbers are counting in the quad digits. Oh my God. In terms of the things coming over. I like how I said they've been intermingling with the Midwestern packs. So you have like intelligent ones breeding the unintelligent ones pretty much. Well, I guess the unintelligent ones would still see them as their own, like race and stuff and species. If we had known that, we wouldn't have let the bastards in. Army units are assisting in trying to get them to secluded areas and elsewhere away from population centers. True to their words, however, they are wiping out the savage and feral deathclaws that haunt those regions. We're monitoring them where their promontories are located, and we've warned them that any interactions with humans that aren't where won't end well. They don't seem to mind. It's nothing new to them. We've done more than they could have hoped, so they'll keep up their end of the bargain. Negotiating with Deathclaws was not on my Wasteland bingo. How many? The intelligent Deathclaws are settled away from the settlements and prying eyes. Because, yeah, I feel like there'd be a lot of people trying to hunt the intelligent Deathclaws. I could definitely see that being a thing. I'm going to try to finish out these asymmetric warfare doctrines, too, because we have all these other warfare doctrines fully done. Okay, so the Lord's Anointed should be... Yeah, okay, so it failed, technically. We have troops just passing over everywhere at this point. Oh my god, how many troops do they have, actually? The Lord's Anointed have a lot of guys. A lot of them are just basic infantry, though, with nothing else. Some of them have some support units, but nothing crazy. And it looks like most of our other guys are actually arriving. Perfect timing, too. Okay, there goes the Cran Cartel. Or the Grand Cartel, the Cran. They are the Crans. I will take their navy, though, because they are actually on the coast. And it seems like they have a large navy. Let's go. Oh, yep, and there goes the Anointed declaring war on us. Okay, let's look at their navy. They have 98 light ships. They legit just decided to only build light ships, apparently. Oh my god. A lot of them are repairing, too. But they are going to join our main force here. They're going to join our main naval force. Yeah, dude, they had a lot of light ships. They were just, like, pooping those things out.
That's a no one.
Okay, I don't think we have one for the Baja State. Who do we have options for now? Oh, wait, no. I was going to bring you guys up to deal with that faction that's up north. That's correct.
President's watching us like a hawk.
Because there's this faction here.
Enclave here.
Okay, so let me start splitting you guys up now.
Why isn't your video feed working?
And then once they deal with the Lord Anointed, we can move them in also.
This is Enclave main comm.
Okay, so that's that area done. Yeah, these guys are just basic infantry units. They seem to have a lot, but then when you look at them, most of them are just infantry. To earn 10 million caps in total. We have earned 10 million caps. We ain't no broke boys. So we're gonna push across that strait. I think they might fall before we even get across that strait, honestly. Jesus. Nope, we made it across. What is our logistics even looking like right now? We have 14,000 tanks. Amphibious creatures. We've taken amphibious creatures from people. Wait, we have 6 Deathclaws that we've captured from people. Organ power armor. We're actually only up to 3,000 of this. That stuff apparently is like super hard to make. We've actually taken a bunch of robots and stuff. We've collected a lot from people. Oh, these guys' front line split. Okay, just do this. Go around. Okay, we should be moving into Idaho. Because Idaho. And then,
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
they should fall any second. Okay, let's send out some more armored prospectors. Oh, nope, never mind. They actually moved their capital here. I didn't see this one. Well, I mean, that's about to fall too, so that's also great. There we go. Oh, that was bypassed. A lot of that was bypassed. Okay, that's actually really nice. We will submit that. Their navy is also stuck in the rivers, so I'm not going to touch their navy.
Enclave here.
Okay, and now we have our boys here.
Enclave here.
which these guys aren't in the faction, so I don't have to worry about them. These guys are, so like Ouroboros and stuff up here are in the faction, which these guys are actually a pretty big faction, I do want to say. So you go there.
It's always tighter out here at Enclave.
I'll have one of you go here. Yeah, because all this is, you can't go through it, so that's good.
This is Enclave main comm.
You go here. Even though that could probably stretch that across, but that's fine. These other guys should fall pretty quickly. I think it's like Lord Diana and them that are going to be a harder push for us. God, I hate these mountains. Should we go north or try to head south? They have some victory points up here, but not a lot. Let's just try to deal with these mountains, I guess. Honestly, this capital will easily get taken since it's on the outskirts. We'll go south with these guys.
Enclave main comm.
And then... Actually, there's no straits up here. Never mind. They can't make it across there unless they naval invade. I feel like we'll deal with these guys before they make too much of a breakthrough, at least over here. I will set up some guys on this strait to push down this way. Or I guess up this way.
Enclave here.
And then same thing with Lord Diana. I'm actually going to place them here and send them up there. Oh, there's Vault 27. That way we can get rid of most of these victory points here. And I'd say that's pretty much most of that now. Okay, so we bypassed... Oh, wait, we don't need this. We bypassed this. Which because it was the Northwest Brotherhood. So we could just take Masters of the Wasteland now. Perfect. Another Legion raiding party spotted. Let me look at something here. So this isn't even to bypass this, the Fox on the Run. Is that just going to keep popping? I'm so confused. Because someone's going to tell me the Coast Guard thing, which I've taken the Coast Guard in a test just to see if it did get rid of it, and it didn't. But we'll do it again after we do the other thing here. Okay, everyone get into position. I actually have these guys up here too, though, that can
Enclave here.
move down, right? Yeah. Kind of just have units scattered everywhere right now. So I could just move these guys down also to help with this faction.
Why isn't your video feed working?
It's pretty much we'll be at war against just multiple different groups once we get all of our annex war goals together.
This is Enclave main comm.
And just pretty much be declaring everywhere across the wastes.
This is Enclave main comm.
Okay, we already moved our Brotherhood of Steel guys up here. Perfect. Okay, you guys can just take a back seat and go away. Let's look at some research here. Which, again, I do need some of that other intermediate. Like this right here. Like, yeah, we have... Oh, no, I think it's just because it's sophisticated. But we'll take the jetpacks. Let's just invest stimulants in all of these. Because why not? Trial of the captured Palatine. It wasn't a civil court where the captured members of the Alkaline Palatine were tried. It was a military tribunal that seemed to harken back to the days of the Rig and the old Enclave. The older members that had arrived at the depot looked on to their former compatriots with disgust. They were almost unrecognizable. Yeah, dude, having to go to military court, I feel like would be the worst thing ever. Because you don't have the same, God, what's the one where I'm looking for? The same rights that you do in a civilian court. Military court is a lot, like if you're going to military court, there is a high chance that you are not going to be found innocent. Honestly, military court is pretty crazy, especially if you're standing before a military tribunal. If you made it to the point where you're standing before a military tribunal, you're probably getting sent to Guantanamo Bay. I'm just gonna put that. You're probably getting sent there. Having baked in the hot Arizona sun all this time, the stress of living under the Legion to those members of the Palatine Palatine. I'm just gonna say Palatine. It was almost surreal to see what had become of the nation since they fled all those years before. They sat in shock at the sight before them, seeing everything that had been rebuilt, realizing in horror that they would never be a part of it. Not all of them were military, but it didn't matter. The military judges barely gave any time to deliberation after the Enclave intelligence laid out the list of crimes that they had committed. Okay, the ones not being military should not be being tried by a military tribunal. They do have rights, as they are civilians. How their actions strengthened the Legion and got so many Americans killed in combat. All they could do, or all they could give in defense, was a pitiful "I'm sorry." They were all sentenced to death. There were no pity or remorse for those who betrayed everything they believed in just because they didn't follow Granite's ideals. Of course, now there was those that fled to Chicago, the last of the Palatine, the last of the Sierra Enclave traitors. We'll get the rest. You could be sure of that. We got spar torpedoes researched. And now let's grab the actual torpedo tubes here. Because I'm looking to make a navy to sink every other country on the coast navy. Oh man, we're getting some lag right now. Jesus, we're down to like 25, 26 FPS. Might be high time here in a minute to reload the game. I guess we're almost done with this episode. I think we have like, what, another 15 minutes? I've been doing these probably about 2.5 hour intervals. I want to take out this faction, and then we'll probably deal with that at like then. But we have been absolutely just taking people out left and right now. Oh my god, though, dude. I think it's just because of all the troops moving. Like, my entire military is just moving across vast swaths of land. And it's just not having a good time. Okay, looks like mostly everyone's almost into position. Yeah. Enclave battleship finished. Let's go with these naval modules. Automated fire prevention system. Advanced radar arrays is what I want. Out the cannon. Part of the former Air Force Special Operations Command Cannon Air Force Base, secured in the same capacity as Dyes Air Force Base and operating in America's tropical backyard, deploying surveillance aircraft and special forces units to quickly respond to communist terrorists and the occasional smuggler before the Great War. Maybe it was the lack of focus towards China that saw the base spared much of the nuclear bombardment that befell Texas. Regardless, Enclave Sigma is ready to deploy several teams to Cannon Air Force Base and bring it to operational capacity as we continue east. Send them in anytime, any place. So increasing special forces capacity and division attack. Okay, so that was just one of our rebuilding of bases stuff. Why are you guys not up here? Oh, because that's not our territory. I thought we owned the northern section there, because it's kind of like the same color. Okay, let's go with the composites here. So honestly, all these guys are here now, protecting the board. Why are you guys just like this? I'm a little confused by that.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Okay, there's no straight right here, so I'm gonna take these guys off because there's no border for them to protect. This does not actually have a border either, because this straight leads into our territory. That's why they're looking like that. Okay. Yeah, go join the fronts. So Unity of Austin, because they should just be able to tank them out. I kind of like doing this with the fronts. It's kind of fun now. Because honestly, there's really nothing stopping us. Let's arm some more mini nukes. Okay, Unity of Austin. Oh, okay, they're not in here. Huh. Well, we will deal with them later, I guess. once we finish our other national focus. Is everyone in position? Not everyone. These guys aren't. These guys aren't. Protests erupt over the death clause. Oh, citizens across the wasteland have taken to the streets to protest following shocking revelations that the government has been quietly sheltering and protecting broods of intelligent death claws. Large demonstrations have broken out in major urban centers, with protests carrying signs and chants, "No monsters among us," and "Protect Americans first," echoed through the streets. In response, the president issued a brief statement acknowledging the program's existence, but emphasizing that every precaution has been taken to protect civilians and that the creatures pose no imminent threat to the population. Despite assurances, trust in the government's intentions is wavering, and tensions remain high as citizens demand the complete dismantling of the program. For now, the future of the Death Claw's future remains uncertain as public pressure mounts and officials scramble to address the backlash. We knew this was coming. We lost 5% legitimacy and stability. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I just say do what we did with the Slantier. Enlist them in the army. That'll solve so many issues. And then, you know, they'll live on like military reservations, in quotations. You know what? I have most of my guys down here. Let's just take this. Let's do Dead Horse, because I don't know if the rest of them will instantly declare war to save them, but we can at least take these guys out real quick. We'll see how long it takes for the rest of them to come to their aid. Economic resurgence. Yep, there they go. I love how these guys just got here and they're instantly just taking that back. Masters of the Wasteland. Okay, we have annex war goals now against everybody. Let's go. That's actually great. So we can now wage war on everyone. I want to rebuild Navarro also. So we will restore Navarro too. Ah, we also got Operations Command here. Man, we got so much that we can still do. I want to... Okay, I need to go down here. Wait, why can't we take this? Open for business. Has completed focus. Open for business. New World Contractors. What is open? Okay, let me see where this is. Open for... Okay, there it is. So that's what it is. It's this up here. So we got to take that before we could take the other one. Because I'm needing this aircraft carrier, man. Yep, just take these boys out.
Video feed working.
We're pretty much going to be going over like all of them though, because I want to learn. I want to learn like every piece of information on all of these national focuses. End of Legion guerrillas. With the Legion's collapse, guerrilla raids on American forces come to an end onto Chicago. Oh, so they finally stopped. Okay, thank God. We're going to deal with this one day. So remove Legion guerrillas, which grants supply consumption plus 5%. Morning intelligence summary. There was a saying around Red Mountain that it was a rough morning if Callahan had coffee. He sat half awake in his chair as he and the rest of the staff received their morning intelligence summary. Before work began, Raiders' attacks along the border have subsided following a series of airstrikes, and we're seeing increased immigration from unclaimed territories from the so-called Forbidden Zone. Meanwhile, we've managed to place agents within the future expansion zone. And hold on, Major. What's that bullet point at the bottom? Asked Callahan. Sir, asked the briefer. That bottom bullet point, a nuclear bombing in the capital. Sorry, sir, left on by accident, spoke one of Callahan's officers. No. We're the only ones on this continent with nukes. Who the hell is nuking us? Chicago? Inquired Callahan. We got a tip from some woman named Lee Moldaver. Tip, well, she broke in last night, but was apprehended. She was talking about how there was going to be a nuclear attack on New Reno. We have her in lockup down below awaiting transfer. Callahan nodded. Let me see her. The mad woman. You are either plenty insane or something else is up for you to try and break onto Enclave Intelligence HQ. Who are you? The mad woman looked to Callahan from behind the force field wall, keeping her locked in. Everyone knows who I am. I really don't, Colonel Callahan, Enclave Intelligence. What is this about a nuclear attack on New Reno? You think Bud and his types in LA are just going to sit by? Do you know who Vault-Tec is? We've been monitoring them. What does this have to do with nuclear bombing? You don't fit in their model of the world. Bud is going to try and wipe you out, just like they nearly did to the NCR. Ma'am, upstairs I have a machine that will let me rewrite memories. So enough with the cryptic shit. You didn't break in here for nothing. Either you telling me what the fuck is going on, or I'm going to have you thinking your name is Williams. Bud was going to have his little managers destroy the NCR because they didn't fit Bud's vision. Oh, wait, this is this from Vault 33? You know, from the Fallout show. I think it's from Vault 33. Bud's, yeah. It's funny because I'm just rewatching that now. Because the new season drops in December of the new Fallout show. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to rewatch it because this has like reinvigorated me for Fallout so much. I love Fallout as is, but it's making me want to replay the Fallout games. It's making me want to rewatch the show, which I am actually rewatching the show now. However, you Enclave types started your war and destroyed the NCR before that, killing thousands. But now that you're in charge, he's going to destroy you. You got evidence of this? Oh, I know who that is. That's the woman that attacked the vault. That faked being the other vault. Ah, I didn't realize that's who that is. That's that woman. I'm already disgusted that somehow. Wait, is that who that is? That looks like her. I'm already disgusted that somehow the pre-war government returned. There was never anything good about the United States pre-war, but I'm not you. I can't let innocent people die or just condemn them to death because I don't like who is in charge. I did that once. I saw the world end. I tried warning the NCR, but you killed them before that. Now I'm warning you, and it makes me want to vomit. But if it saves people, Callahan nodded. What's his target? A discovery of presidential proportions. Bro, is that Air Force One? President Douglas Granite, astounding news. Air Force One. It is Air Force One. We found it. In the ruins of Denver International Airport, scavenger teams reported an airliner with an absurd amount of automated defense systems. When our troops approached, a few recognized the blue and white paint job as well as its markings. It's worse for wear, but it's intact and responded to our codes. A few of our engineers on site believe that we can get her flying again. That is, of course, if you want to. I shall soar on the wings of liberty. I have a vertibird. It's good enough. No, I shall soar on the wings of liberty. Oh, dude, that is great. We found Air Force One. That is awesome. Oh my god, I love that. I need you guys to go this way because those other guys hasn't come over yet, and just kind of hold this until these guys can push this way. It's just a job. A lone cart pulled by Brahmin walked through the dead of night. 4 caravan smugglers kept their eyes out for any sign of movement. They froze as a vertibird flew overhead. Man, if it weren't for the damn pay, whined a smuggler. Shut it. All we gotta do is push this cart into the city and get out. Oh, it's the nuke, said another. No one is going to question a Brahmin cart full of scrap. Don't you think it's a little weird that old vault guy paid us so much to push a cart full of scrap into a center of a city? Caps, money, I don't care. You saw what he's paying. We do this. We get the biggest payday ever. Yeah, but we're pushing it into New Reno. The amount of law there is stupid. Even the NCR wasn't that uptight. Quit your yapping, or I'ma shoot you and split your cut with the rest of us. That seemed to do the trick when the sound of vertibirds approaching put them on edge. They waited for the VTOLs to pass when floodlights were upon them. Dozens of Secret Service agents rushed the caravan, and the 4 smugglers not even trying to put up a fight. One of the agents ran up to the cart and threw off the turret. From the looks of it, the whole cart was filled with nothing but scrap metals and robot parts. However, he moved some bits aside before his blood ran cold. Bomb! Countdown to 0. Douglas Granite was walked into the bunker in Fort Sierra as the rest of the room seemingly in a frenzy. What's going on? I'm awakened in the middle of the night and flown here, and no one has told me anything, shouted Douglas Granite. Harrison spoke up. We got one nuclear device half a mile outside of New Reno and a Navy explosive ordnance disposal team on site. Douglas Granite looked to Admiral Richard, who nodded in confirmation. Supreme Court is being moved, and we're alerting any and all members of Congress, continued Harrison. Vice President, asked Douglas Granite, was in Vault City, is sheltering in the vault. What about the people of New Reno, asked Douglas Granite. Harrison gave a defeated look. All citizens have been ordered to shelter in place. We can't risk a panic. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do. All we can do is wait until the phone rings to inform us that the bomb went off, or the bomb was defused, spoke Harrison before the phone went off. Oh, God. Imagine saying that and the phone going off halfway through the sentence. The entire room froze. If it weren't for the phone itself, you could hear a pin drop. Admiral Richard picked up the phone, and it was if time stood still. Well, I mean, at this point, you would have heard the nuke go off if it's half a mile outside of Reno. Yes, I'll let them know now. Richard spoke before putting the receiver down and looking back to the others in the room. That was the Navy EOD team. Bombs defused. Welcome home. It had been a, God, I guess, I don't know how to, like, tumultuous, God, few hours, but with the nuclear bombs defusal, breaths were collected, and now those who had attempted to destroy the Enclave a second time had made a very powerful enemy, and there would be no NCR or Brotherhood of Steel to save them. This time, Grayson again stood outside Vault 32. Yeah, so it was 32. 33 was the other one. The door already breached open due to animosity between the Vault 32 survivors and the reality of their vault told to Vault 33. Any and all members of Vault 31 were placed into Vault 32 for their own safety, but also to assist in monitoring them. Vault 31 had been turned into an ad hoc field office for the marshals, and those same marshals were rushing in. However, they were backed up by Enclave intelligence agents, Sigma troopers, and rangers. Callahan walked up to Grayson, Grayson himself, bristling next to the intelligence chief. Colonel, I'm aware of your reputation. Make no mistake, I will not see the law violated on my watch. Callahan's normal cocky demeanor turned rather dour? This must be sour. The president has informed me I am to assist in any way possible. However, I am aware this is a civil matter in your jurisdiction. I follow your lead. Besides, I don't think you want to be dragged before Graham on my account, shall we? Grayson nodded. Let us begin. Enclave versus Vault Tech. Enclave v. Vault Tech. During Grayson's time in Vault City, he read numerous reports and countless stories about raiders rounding up a settlement population and holding them in the center of town. Walking into the atrium of Vault 32, he was reminded of those stories and reports being on the opposite side of it. Everyone looking at him while bound and watched over by heavily armed men and women felt weird. The only difference was that the brain of a Protectron that was Bud Atkins, Sir, we're short 2 members, spoke of the marshals, former Vault 33 overseer Hank McLean and Betty Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you have been implicated in a nuclear terror plot targeting the capital of the United States of America, spoke Grayson. The Vault 31 members looked amongst themselves before Bud spoke. What? That failed? Impossible. There was no way you could have known. Callahan leaned to Grayson. Is that what they call a confession? Mr. Askins, are you actually admitting to attempting a targeted nuclear strike against the Enclave of the United States? Bud just laughed. Enclave this, Enclave that. It's a damn fairy tale. I told you. Enough with this Enclave stuff. I'm tired of hearing about it. There is no Enclave. There is no government. The United States is dead. Heirs to a dead nation. Grayson gritted his teeth at the mocking brain on a Protectron that was Bud Askins. The cyborg hobbled forward defiantly as if to challenge the old lawman. Listen, I don't know what nation you think you're an heir to, but the United States, it's dead. We saw to it where your little playtime on the surface, that's all that is, playtime. Now, run along. None of us are citizens of a dead nation. We're citizens of Vault-Tec. And if you don't leave, Askin's arms sparked to life, electricity jumping between his metal claws. Things might get messy. It did not occur to Bud that he and the rest of his buds happened to be surrounded by several well-armed marshals who promptly readied their guns in response to the Vault-Tec executive's threats. The other members of Vault 31 looked uneasy, perhaps wondering if 200 years in a jar had messed with Bud's brain a bit too much. However, all this was stopped as a dark chuckling drew over the tense silence. "What is so funny? Who is laughing? Why is there laughing?" shouted Bud. A figure in a brown leather uniform stepped forward. Grayson shook his head as he knew any attempts of handling this within the confines of the Constitution just got thrown out the window by Bud's hubris. "Mr. Askins," Grayson spoke, "trying to at least save some people. Do you speak for all members of Vault 31? They are my executive assistants. I speak for them all." Grayson laughed as Callahan stepped forward, flicking the top off a Nuka-Cola. "Name's Colonel Callahan, Enclave Intelligence, since none of you are American citizens." "Oh, that means you're under my jurisdiction." Dude, gets the man from Cedar. Oh, dude, they're not American citizens anymore. They don't get the same rights as American citizens do in the court of law. Oh, man. Dude, Buds, you just messed up majorly. "The man from Cedar. Is that supposed to scare me?" laughed Buds. His response was a plasma bolt from Callahan to his robotic chassis. The Protectron body crumbled over before the jar containing the Vault-Tec senior junior vice president's head fell off. Everyone looked to the intelligence chief as he raised his still smoking plasma. I like how it says plasma people instead of plasma pistol. Still smoking plasma people. "Folks, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a good man. I'm not one of the good guys. I've tossed people out of vertebrates, left them to be eaten by monsters, turned them into vegetable people. And I've been summoned before Congress more times than I can count." He kicked Bud's brain jar, causing it to fly across the atrium. "And I have a lot of enemies. The only reason I am here before you is I get results. I make miracles happen. So, in theory, if I fell here, my enemies might have something to get me removed. So, there is no way I'm going to fail. I highly advise all of you to reclaim your American citizenship and cooperate with the Attorney General, or they're going to have to write a new set of articles in the Geneva Convention for what I'm going to do. So please, make my day." Grayson blinked. He now knew why Graham hated him. Follow your NOS. Follow your NOS. Vault 31 had once again become the epicenter of the investigation. Once each member of Vault 31 was questioned, they were to be placed in cryostasis until it was over to ensure they didn't conspire with the rest. Grayson watched as Chase Powell was placed in suspended animation following Callahan's little show. Every member of Buds reclaimed their citizenship, or at least paid lip service to it to save their own skin. "Anything yet?" asked Callahan, walking up. "No, however, it seems McLean and Pearson were an inner circle and most weren't in it. Seems Bud kept everything close to his chest. Makes sense even if all of them were his cronies. He could really only rely on his most trusted members, and records show they have been out for a while. They're also the only two assholes not here," spoke Callahan. "So we have our culprits, but no leads. Anything from Bud?" Callahan smiled darkly. "I'm having him pledge allegiance." Oh my god. Steer the ship. "Mr. Atkins, I have to ask, but did you honestly think you had a chance? Call me cruel, but did you honestly think that you would have a future in this world? So convinced the Enclave didn't exist. We survived the Great War. What was one more nuke going to do?" asked Callahan. Grayson shook his head. Bud repeated the Pledge of Allegiance. Desperation clear in his voice. "Colonel, please, enough theatrics, may I?" Callahan smiled before pressing a button on a terminal Bud had been hooked up to. Grayson sat down next to Bud, the cyborg panting as if he had run a mile. Who are you people? He pleaded. We are the Enclave. The Enclave, panted Bud, doesn't... And then he stopped. Mr. Askins, bellowed Grayson. Do you think I want my drag myself? Jesus. Dude, there's some grammar stuff going on here. Before a farce and lie about it. You can lie to yourself all day, but I will not lie to you. Since you have refused your U.S. citizenship, I am perfectly content to let Callahan toy with you unless you tell me where Overseer McLean and Miss Pearson are. Bud panted, his jar bubbling. I'll never tell. You won't get a thing out of me. You hear me? I am Bud Askins. I got it, spoke Callahan, staring at his monitor. Huh? What? He asked Bud. Even Grayson was confused. I knew stressing you out would lower your mental guard. Had this puppy hooked up to you or to your mind the whole time. Vault Tech in Enrichment Center near Sac City. Mr. Askins, it's been a pleasure working with you. Man, did we get another event after this? Yes, we do. Okay. Step on the gas. The Vault Tech Enrichment Center was a long looted structure, had once been used as a hideout for raiders before being cleared out by the NCR Army, and even on time as a followers' medical post during the NCR Enclave War. Now it buzzed as vertibirds descended onto the place. Half of them were from the U.S. Marshals, others from Enclave Intelligence. The joint teams swarmed the place before several of them encountered some automated turrets protecting a secure back room. The ambush was negated when a Sigma team came up and easily dealt with the scrap turrets. The Marshals broke into the room with the Sigma troopers backing them up. What they discovered were signs of life in the past few days, as well as the dead body of Betty Pearson, a bullet hole in her forehead. Half an hour later, Grayson and Callahan were looking over the body. They knew we were coming, growled Grayson. Monitoring the airwaves, likely listening for the Enclave to collapse, and when they realized it wasn't and that we were coming, split, noted Callahan, killed his partner. She's old and not the best of shape. McLean, from what I remember, was in shape. It's likely didn't he want the dead weight? Jesus. Or a loose end. Cunning. Now we have a highly dangerous man out here willing to kill to survive. Now what? Asked Callahan rhetorically. Marshal Gerard, get security footage of Hank McLean. I want his wanted poster plastered from Reading to Dayglow to Gecko, ordered Grayson. Dead or alive, sir? Mr. McLean, I presume? The hunt for McLean. Douglas Granite looked over the report from the vaults and the raid on the old enrichment center Grayson and Callahan had given him. I'll have to release a statement, you know. The people need to be aware, and this man needs to be aware there's nowhere to hide. So we've got a pre-war executive assistant with knowledge of nuclear bombs running around, asked Granite. Unfortunately, yes, replied Grayson. It didn't look like McLean had gone long. In fact, it looked like he left in a haste, possibly just before our vertibirds arrived. He couldn't cordon the place off. We were moving too fast, explained Callahan. Granite put the papers down and adjusted his tie. I have a speech to prepare. Okay, so they're both plays event without audio. Plays event with audio. Is the audio him talking? Let me pause and click it real quick.
We nearly had a crisis in that rogue elements of a vault attempted the nuclear bombing of our temporary capital out west.
Know what's going on with OBS. I don't know where that cut me off at, but I'll have to look at it again. For some reason, OBS has been pausing, unpausing, pausing, unpausing on its own at times. It's like I'll click it once, and then it'll unpause, pause, unpause, pause. I'll probably have to go look to cut that out. God, was it 243? But yeah, like, I guess I'll start again. I do hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you are new here, consider liking, subscribing, and or commenting on the video. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and honestly just helps us grow as a whole. We are like, I think at the time before I started recording this, we're 140 subscribers off from 10,000. We are almost at the 10,000 mark, which is crazy. We have over half the world, in quotations, because this isn't technically the world, but in this instance it is the world taken over, and it's actually kind of crazy that we have made it to this point. Like this is like we've taken so much. Like, it's just swaths of land everywhere. Defeating Caesar was definitely that definitely gave us a lot of territory and has helped us regain a lot of territory too. We're gonna need to take out a lot of these other ones on the left, because once we take out a lot of these guys on the left, we won't need to really hold troops over here, and we can just start our push east, going towards the rest of the place in the area. But like I said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Night Up's out.